Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the 57th edition of the Comicsgate Commandos. Tonight we have a very special guest. I'm obviously going to wait till I bring on my co-hosts. See, I don't like this. You can see my eyes. I don't like this. I don't like it one bit. You're not supposed to see my eyes. You're supposed to wonder, what are his eyes looking like right now? Is he staring at us the whole time? Welcome back to the Comicsgate Commandos. Anyway. All right, I'm sorry. It's been a day. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we got a special guest for this evening. Comicsgate means a lot of things to a lot of different people. To some people, it means you see my, fixing my eyes because my eyelids get stuck. To a lot of people, it means, an alt-right, racist, bigoted, homophobic, transphobic group. And while they're not wrong, it means a lot of different things to a lot of people. A lot of people are, on the side of I'm going to take my comment down. Sorry. A lot of people are Comicsgate means the professionals who are blacklisted, still doing their thing and making their money doing it. And that is true. A lot of people think Comicsgate means saving the art form of Western comic books, and a distinctly American art form from essentially Marxist influence over the course of the last 20, 30 years. And there's people like me who think many of those things, as well as what Comicsgate does, because we're here on YouTube, and there's people like me and people like our special guest for this evening who have decided that we want to do comics too. We want to be in comics as well. And what we do is we learn from the professionals who are here, who are willing to provide all kinds of advice for us and things like that, and to try to essentially make a new generation, a younger generation of people who are making comic books. That's what a big portion of what Comicsgate means to me. And so I'm really excited to bring on our special guest for this evening. But before I do that, ladies and gentlemen, let me introduce my co-hosts for this evening. It is Colonel Carbon Hart. What's up, Carbon?
Hail. Hail, General Q and chat. Good to be back.
Good to have you. You need a new picture though. You know what I'm saying? It's not
Something
bad.
Fresh.
Yeah, it's just something new,
I know what you mean.
When you came on for the 50th anniversary, or was it the 1 year anniversary? You had the suit and everything. That was good too.
Wearing a tuxedo, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Funny that you say that, because I was actually thinking the same thing today when I logged into whatever this is, StreamYard. But I'm up to the limit of my avatars, so I couldn't add another one. And then I was too lazy to, go to the settings and delete and fix the whole thing. But yeah,
have you ever considered wearing a mask like Johnny and doing a whole video stream? Because the Rorschach thing looked really well on Halloween.
Yeah, no, that was fun. Yeah, I thought about wearing a mask, but there will be a face reveal. I know it's been delayed, but it will happen. It needs to be a surprise, though. I can't schedule it.
That's fair enough. Yeah, it should be a surprise. See, I blurred myself out. God damn it. Oh my God. Okay, well, while I fix my camera, ladies and gentlemen, may I introduce our second co-host for this evening. It's Sergeant Kuman. What's up? I think you're muted, Frederick.
Yes, it's part of my stealth training there. Hey, I'm drawing behind enemy lines tonight. How you doing, General Q? Colonel Carbon?
Great.
Happy
Look
to be
at
here.
that beautiful piece you're working on there.
She's coming along nice. I think she's ready to start inking. What do you think?
Dude, when you sent the first time you sent that to me, I was like, yeah, that's good to go. Here's a question for you. And this is just, OCD Patrick. Kirby Crackle.
Yes.
Where do you I see a lot. I see it at the top. I see a lot of it.
Yeah,
which is good.
It's here and it's here at the bottom as well.
Okay.
At the source of her hand. I try adding the Kirby Crackle to the beams here, but it didn't. It took away from the structure of the beams. As you can see, I drew them. Can you see it here?
Let me make you big here real quick. Hold on.
It's not really obvious.
Solo.
So I had a little bit of Kirby Crackle that I drew in here, but it just took away from the strength of the beam, You
Gotcha.
want them, these are they're supporting a lot, these beams.
Mm-hmm. Well, they're supporting less than they were supporting.
So they're working as kind of a shield, like around her, and she's getting
Yes.
ready to throw the plasrad from her left hand, which is a stronger directed force here, while the right hand is.
Did somebody send you my script and that you know she creates an aura in phenomenon number 2?
No, nobody sent me anything. I just have access to your files on your computer.
Oh, yeah. Well, fair enough.
Well, you're on Microsoft Windows. It's like working with the window open. You're gonna get spies and spam.
I wonder about that sometimes. I have Norton, and then McAfee just one day popped up. I fucking hate computers. McAfee one day just popped up and was like, "Hey, you got a whole bunch of problems," and I was like, "I didn't download McAfee. Like, what the hell?"
Well, here's the industry secret: the antivirus is the virus.
Is it really?
Yes. See, the thing, you want to get off Windows if you want security, because Windows is kind of built as a monolith, whereas if you go to Unix-based system like Mac or Linux, you'll have the admin portion cordoned off from the user. So if the user ever gets infected, it can't go into the programs. It can't go into the system files. It just does not have permission. Windows was never built like that as a big monolith, so it's got its weaknesses there.
Huh. I know nothing about computers, and I really hope that some person doesn't decide to hack me. You're not going to find anything other than my comic book, but that would be terrible if somebody were to release all that information, telling you what happens to Minotaur, all that kind of stuff. You wouldn't happen to be rooting around in my computer, Frederick, would you?
I cannot confirm or deny.
As long as you're not downloading anything, you're pretty good.
I'm actually uploading files. I'm uploading images. I'm secretly participating.
Oh no. He's uploading like trans anime images.
No, that was already there when I looked.
It was not there. This computer is clean as a whistle. Let me tell you something. I'm very careful.
That's why you stay away from anime.
Yes, sir.
The more anime you download, chances are eventually you're going to run into trouble.
Friends don't let friends become weebs,
Yeah.
Actually, Piso Shi, you guys know him, right?
I've seen him around, yeah.
He showed a video, I think it was on Katie's channel, about Japanese men and how they're kind of like all their money goes to their wives once they get married, and then they're given an allowance. Like,
I think it works that way with the Indian men as well. In India, I think it's the same as the woman has the keys to the house.
That would make sense. That's why they're always fucking asking me for a goddamn discount on everything. Patrick said sarcastically.
There's a lot of strange stuff going on in the Eastern world, and I'm not afraid to say it. I've mentioned
you shouldn't be
issues with Japanese culture, China, obviously, North Korea, fucking India. It's a mess. It's a mess over there.
I dislike India more and more as the days go by. But so on that note, ladies and gentlemen, on that like slightly tangential racist note, let me bring on our special guest star for this evening, ladies and gentlemen. He's been a mainstay in Comicsgate chats for as long as I've been in Comicsgate, which is probably 5 years or so. And it's just a great pleasure to bring on this gentleman with his own book that he's made by, of his own accord. It's just fantastic. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Tom Tuttle.
Hey, everybody.
What's up, man? How you doing?
Good. Do I sound okay? You have no idea the kind of frantic scurrying I was just doing because my computer completely crashed with like 4 minutes to airtime. And I was in the back room in my phone at one point. I was getting out the friggin' abacus. I was breaking out my Commodore 64. I was going crazy over here. So do I sound okay?
You sound fine.
Good.
Okay, perfect.
Yep.
Hi, the Commodore 64.
Fat, lamb chops there. Mutton chops.
They're part of
Hello,
my
Mr. Tuttle. Nice shades. I like the shades.
Thank you, sir.
Yes. Yes, indeed. He knows the dress code for this evening.
100%.
So let's do this. Let me say hello to the chat real quick, and then we'll get right into it, shall we? There's some things and Tom, I know that you're like not averse to detraction. So I think
I
we
am
might
not
start off.
averse to detraction at all.
Yes, perfect. We'll start off with a little bit of an icebreaker, and then we'll move forward. We have Frederick Guman, ladies and gentlemen, right here with us.
Yes, and I can say that I like our guest already for name dropping the Commodore 64. Respect. That's how I started back in the day.
Yeah, the Commodores are great. I mean, what a great band. So we got Adam Weber here. What's up, Adam? We've got Skeleton Core Comics, also known as Skelly. What's up, man? How you doing? Here we have a toy fanboy. Good evening, one and all, he says. Yes, sir. Hello. Thank you for being here. We've got Grey Wolf. What's up? Hiya, chat, he says. Thank you, sir. Thank you for being here. Art Haida. Hey, I think that's the way he wanted me to say that. Hey, yay, y'all. Hey, yay, yale. Hey, that's what it is. Sorry, my bad. Did another. I guess I'm slowly becoming a racist as the days go on. I didn't know, but here it is.
Savor the moment.
Savor which moment? The one where I'm not
racist. It's a modern theory that people, some people are racist. Everyone's actually racist.
Man, that sucks. I thought I was not racist for the longest time. Then I started working in the automotive industry. So here we. I'm kind of joking about that, folks, but stereotypes are real. That's what I would say. Stereotypes exist for a reason. I'm sorry, Tom. Tom's like, what did I just get myself into? What show am I on? We've got Katie Did. She says, "Hail CG Commandos in chat." What's up, Katie? How you doing,
Katie?
Katie was very kind to me way back at the beginning of the campaign.
Really? She was kind to you?
Yeah, she had me on for, what was it? I think 4.5, 5 hours.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. That's shocking. And she promoted your campaign too.
She did.
Wow.
She did.
Yeah. Awesome.
She gave me the rocket fuel right at the beginning.
She did the same for me. I'm giving her trouble, but yeah, that's awesome. Katie's awesome. She's fantastic. She's even more fantastic when she's on the Comicsgate Commandos, Patrick said. But here we have Vaughn's Haunted Castle. What's up, Vaughn? How you doing, man? Commandos assemble! Yes, sir.
Hail, Vaughn.
Yes, Vaughn.
What's up, Vaughn?
Pop in anytime you want, Vaughn. We'd love to have you. We've also got, I already said hello to Art, but he says, "Hail, Patrick, bring on Tuttling Tom." Yes. And the punk rock signal. That's right. We've got my arch nemesis and hated rival, Phantasmagorical, the Dark Angel. What's up, Fana? How you doing? Nice to see you. Nice to see you. We have Rosario Scribe Comics. What's up, fellas? Hail, chat. Hello, Rosario. Thank you for being here. We got the squid. Hey, yo, he says. Nice picture of the moon. I like the moon. The moon is great. We've got Belmont Press. Hail, he says. And then he says, "Hi, Fanta." All right. Yeah, you're on the list now, Justin. Great job. You were doing so well. And then you said hello to Fanta. Fanta's the biggest. Oh, my fucking God. You dare. On my own channel. How dare you? Tom, you probably don't know this, but Fanta lives in a delusional world where she thinks she's the greatest Chris Cornell fan of all time.
Who is the greatest Chris Cornell fan? Well,
it's me, obviously.
This is You Know My Name, right? That's the guy who sang Casino Royale's theme. Yeah.
That's right.
I like that song.
It's a great song, but he's got much better songs. Yes, Soundgarden and Audioslave. Audioslave is like Rage Against the Machine plus Chris Cornell.
Okay.
So it's really great. I mean, if you like Rage Against the Machine, I really like Rage Against the Machine.
I like Rage Against the Machine.
Yeah, they're sick. And
one of my favorite bands.
Yes. Rage Against the Machine is what taught me how to write dirty, like funky riffs. You know what I mean?
I know what you mean.
Yeah.
I got the exact same thing from Falco.
I have not listened to them. I got to listen to them.
You need to drop whatever you're doing tonight and listen to Falco.
All right. Well, ladies, I'll see you. Well, the last time somebody said,
I haven't heard of them.
Well, it's a hymn. It's an Austrian pop singer from 1985.
I guess that's why I haven't heard of him.
Yeah, he's long since dead, so he's not really doing anything these days.
But hey, what happened? Well, how did he die? Heroin?
I don't know. I mean, it was like what, 50 years ago. So maybe just like life killed him.
85. So that was, oh my God.
The drugs usually take him out.
40 years.
Wait, let me look him up.
That's
I got
crazy.
the world's greatest research tool in the palm of my hand.
On the Commodore
AI,
64.
ladies and gentlemen. AI is so fantastic, isn't it? Art Haida says it's all Russian girls. In regards to what?
Your porn stash, I think, on your computer, she's referring to.
Wait, do you think Art Haida is a female? Have you just misgendered Art Haida?
Sure.
I believe that's a man.
I believe it's a man.
But that would not be a bad choice, all Russian girls.
No. It'd be
All
nice.
right, he died in 1998. He got hit by a bus.
Wow. That's a way to go.
That I did not know.
He literally got hit by a bus.
He got hit by a bus.
In case I get hit by a bus, let me share my music with you, with the world.
Right.
It's
That
good
bus
you
really
fact
rocked
checked
his
that.
Amadeus.
You know, Patrick was calling him a drug addict, and we fact checked it. No, he just, was aloof.
Upstanding man who was a shit jaywalker. That's what happened.
And just to show you what a boomer I am, we have AI, and I looked him up on Wikipedia.
Nice.
No.
No, that's good. AI's from Satan, so it's good.
Yeah, but so's
Fucking guy.
Wikipedia, though, Just saying.
Wikipedia is influenced by Satan, but AI is like literally Satan's like in there. He's like, yes. Anyway, okay, we can talk about AI in a second. Give yourself root access. I don't know what that means. We've got, look who it is. JD Kirby, ladies and gentlemen, the good. He says, bald Patrick is best Patrick. You think so, JD? I like my hair. I think my hair looks really, really good right now. Personally, people are going to call me gay for that, but I don't care. My hair looks great. A toy fanboy posted 7 Amens Before Sundown by Tom Tuttle on Fun My Comic. Ladies and gentlemen, that's what we're going to talk about this evening, amongst other things, but I might as well mention it right now. This is Tom's campaign. If you can back it, go ahead right now. Do it right now. Stop what you're doing. Close the other tabs. I know you got 87 of them. Close them all. Just go to Fund My Comic and back this right now.
And then listen to Falco.
Yes.
A book not created by AI.
That is
by the
correct.
way.
It all came out of my brain.
Yes, very much so. Oh, look who we've got here, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, stop it. See, I told you about McAfee. McAfee just did a big old pop-up on my computer. I'm like, get the fuck out of the way. I'm trying to do a show here. Who's ready for the new Detractor merch, says Art Haida. We got Shadowpunk, ladies and gentlemen. He says, hail, psychos. What's up, Shadowpunk? How you doing, man? Nice to see you. And I think, here it is. Stray Beans. He says, gents. Yes, sir. How you doing? All right. Fantastic. We are all caught up. Chat, is there anybody who's too loud? I feel like I'm too loud. Let us know, chat, please. We have to be equal. Equal. Because we're communists here on this stream. Tom didn't know that, but that's the truth. Okay, so let's jump right into it, shall we? I've got a post about the things that are going on in society, and I would like to talk about it. So right now, there's a lot of talk, folks, about AI. This is our essentially our culprit numero uno, Shad M. Brooks. You know he's an author because he has to put his middle initial in there. So
you shouldn't use your middle initials unless they are RR,
Mm-hmm.
Like J.R.R. Tolkien or J.R.R. Martin.
Yes. Very much
or as
so.
I like to call him, George Really, Really Martin.
He's earned those reallys.
Actually, real quick, can I ask some people if anybody is in the know? How do I let X people post? Because it's telling me that people on X cannot post. If anybody knows,
Post where? What do you mean?
What?
Like they can't post. They're watching the video on X. They can't post in our chat. They can see the chat, but they can't post.
Yeah, no, I think. On the X side of things.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know how that works. I'd have to check that out.
Okay, I'll have to look that up later because I don't have the time right now. But okay, so here we've got a kind of. What's the worst part about this is the little look at those little. What are those little chain things down by his crotchal region? What are those? You would think they would be keeping his, codpiece up, but they would then attach to the upper portion and not the bottom portion. This is just absolutely good God. Well, what do you guys think about this?
Well, it looks very gay.
Eye.
Right,
first and foremost, that might actually be a conspiracy. Maybe AI art is secretly gay. You ever notice how they look too glossy? It's like he has makeup on or something.
Mm-hmm.
Tom, what do you hurt your eye? Like, what's the thing they call the uncanny valley effect? But like his whole body.
This is an uncanny sinkhole.
Yeah.
It's just so. All of the originality, all of the human expression has been just pulled out of this, and not in the fun way either. It's just been completely sapped of anything human, and now it looks like it almost looks like a CG image, like a CGI image. I mean, that's been like, I don't know. It's even worse than that though, because CGI images at least have some kind of artistic movement behind them, but this one is just. I mean, look at the way he holds the sword too. You would think Shad M. Brooks, the sword master himself, would be interested in having his characters holding their swords correctly. I don't know how.
Well, it goes to the heart of the AI versus human art debate, which is that it looks ornamental. Looks like something that that would be on a Christmas tree ornament, or if you have a grandmother who collects like salt and pepper shakers, that would be on a salt and pepper shaker. Like it's an image that doesn't communicate anything except look cute, which is what you would want from an ornament.
The weird thing about this too is that the weird thing about AI in general, those images in general, they look like hyper detailed, but at the same time they don't look like you can look at this and you can go, okay, let me put it like this. You would look at a Dale Keown piece, like the piece he worked really hard on that's been colored well, I mean chromatically enhanced well, excuse me, and you can look at that and go, that looks like real life. Like that looks like a human couldn't have done that, but a human did do it, and it's Dale Keown. At the same time, you look at this thing and it's similar in that it's hyper realistic, but like you said, that glossy sheen, it's just like there's something off about this.
Well,
that's not.
There's a lot of awkwardness in this. Like you said, the way he's holding the sword, no one has ever held a sword like that ever.
Mm-hmm.
He's limp wristed. His arm is awkward. The proportions are also a little bit odd. The arm to the right. And this is actually a perfect example why you leave it to an artist to put out art. Shad, this is why you're not an artist, because you couldn't tell why this is an awkward image, because you're not an artist at all. An artist could have typed this in, generated it, and said, okay, here's what's wrong with it. Let me correct this image.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like Mike Stacklasa said, even if you don't notice it, your brain does. Yeah. Like I didn't notice the sword until you just pointed it out. But think of every sword piece of art you can think of, like Conan, or even like Luke, in Jedi when he's panicking because Vader's found out about Leia and he's just wailing on the guy. Like a sword in art should be an extension of the person who's holding it. So it should be either held with rage or with fear, and this is what it's nothing. It's a Christmas tree ornament.
Mm-hmm. It's another thing too is that I don't, at least up until this point, AI doesn't seem to understand composition. Like it doesn't understand negative versus positive. It can't because like this image, for instance, he's just standing there awkwardly with his sword at the wrong fucking angle. And like you said in Conan, you'll see things like this, or you'll see like the paintings of the old Star Wars movies where he's just straight up, and then you have everything spilling out in front of him from that kind of triangle image. AI doesn't seem to understand that, like, within the image itself, the human mind wants to see symbols or symbolism instead of just a pure image. And that's, I hope that we don't get to the point where AI can do that, because that'd be bad. Obviously, the more
Well,
more power AI gets. Sorry,
There's
go
a
ahead.
very important factor that people forget about AI image generation is that it's averaging what's out there, right? But it's not taking into account the quality of what it's using to reproduce an image. So what I mean is, say if there's 1,000 images on the internet of this guy, it's going to use all of them. It's not going to take into account, okay, which is the best of these images determined by people's opinions. So in a sense, it doesn't know what's good or not. It's simply going to produce. And that's why it's not really going to beat a master artist, because a master artist knows what people like.
You know what it reminds me of? And I'm not trying to be funny. It reminds me of Mark Brooks. I mean, what does it convey? It conveys a man posing. You know, there's no immediacy. There's no forward motion. There's nothing to suggest what came right before the picture, what came right after, what's going to come right after the picture, what it's leading up to. It's just a man posing.
It kind of reminds me of when we were young, my sister had those. They were like paper dolls, you know, and the paper doll would be like kind of in their undergarments, just standing straight like that, and then you would put the undergarments on, and it was standing straight like that so that all the undergarments that came with the paper doll, like, could easily fit onto it. That's what it reminds me of. It doesn't remind me of like a dynamic image in any way.
Frederick, you haven't said anything. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I think the technical term for this is AI slop. It's got a lot of weird off errors that you could point out, but at the heart of it, there's no soul to this image. If you zoom in and you look into the eyes, it's dead, or it's just evil. I find these kind of even sickening. Like, the more my feed has gotten more and more full with AI art over the past weeks, and you start to get like a AI nausea after a while. It's just, there's something off about it that's otherworldly, that's not human, it's not natural, you know. And it kind of grosses.
Tell when you're experienced.
Yeah, especially the bad ones. And yeah, I think it's kind of grosses me out, to be honest.
There's something called an X factor, and they use that in Hollywood or for the music industry. Like, there was a show called The X Factor where they audition singers, but we all know it to mean it's something that you can't explain. It's either you got it or you don't. It's what makes the difference between a star and someone who's just going to be locally known, you know? And that's what this reminds me of. It doesn't have the X factor. So far, AI art, most of it doesn't have that X factor.
Yeah.
It's not kinetic at all. Like, you don't believe that this picture could move.
And I think
the real good artists can convey that sense of forward. Like I said before, like there was a moment that happened before this. There's a moment that this is building up to.
But that might not even be the AI's fault, because I know that Chad is actually feeding the AI his sketches and letting the AI kind of fill in the colors and the realism. It was that way with the girl, the other post that he did, because he showed the steps. I don't know about this one, though, because this one's got some really, like, some things bug me. Like, his right foot is flattened out. There's no toes at the end, or it's not the right length compared to the other foot. It's really off. And the muscles in his legs are all weird. I mean, it's like someone who doesn't understand what they're doing is drawing them. They're there, but they're not natural. They're not flexed in the way they would be if he was just standing there. It's kind of horrendous the more you look at it. And the puffy arms, man, just, I don't know.
I don't want to wear a puffy shirt.
It's like adding insult to injury, you know. It's the death blow.
How did he think he could put puffy arms on a character and have him not look gay? That's what I want to know.
Well, yeah, if he's holding a sword right, and he's like got a couple of slices across the face and fresh blood, I mean, and if his puffy shirt is torn like on one arm,
yeah,
that That's all right. That's when the puffy shirt is okay.
I would think a puffy shirt would be an impediment to swordplay.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
very much.
Well,
so.
look at the comment on the right. The person who posted this. I am convinced Shad is a closeted homosexual.
It's Vito.
That's Vito, actually. Yeah.
Oh Lord.
Oh no, Carbon agreed with Vito. Oh, wow.
That's
Yeah,
like
broken
the first
clock,
of the seven
right?
signs.
Broken clock is right twice a day.
Real quick, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to say, let's see here. Art Haida says, I've noticed AI does odd things because it was trained on the artificial. Like how so many celebrities have plastic surgery and it adds their unnaturalness to how it draws humans. Yeah. Yeah. It might be a thing too where the more likes something gets, the more credence the AI gives it. And you know how society is. There's so many people giving a million likes to really stupid garbage. I mean, you know, like the kind of stuff that the Rippaverse does. There's a lot of people who support that. A lot of people.
Maybe the AI just doesn't like Shad, and it's like, okay, I'll give him this.
Now that would be funny because see, the way I view AI is like there's somewhere behind the lines for people who are important. There's a demon being like, oh, what, you have 1 and 0 binary code? Okay, we can affect that, and we always have been able to affect that. So, but, and like do minor changes that are in their favor. And it'd be really, really, really funny if Shad was like, they're like, we're just gonna screw this guy over. That'd be very funny.
I think Eric July just put out a video yesterday in which he defended AI art. Maybe later we can EFAP that.
Yes. Yes, that'd be great.
Well, and I go back to what I was saying about ornamental. There's a place for ornamental art. Like, you know, it's been kind of widespread for about a year now that people use AI for their thumbnails. And it's perfect for thumbnails. It's perfect for, you know, if you're just making a Twitter post and you want to have a picture of, I don't know, a clown with an axe, you just AI up a picture of a clown with an axe, but it doesn't communicate anything.
You know, I thought you were going to bring up the fact that he put a post out looking for artists now, which is, I just put the 2 and 2 together. I wonder if he's setting people up to start producing AI comics in the future.
Well, there's many things I could have started with. This was the first thing that I started with, but I'm sorry. Go ahead, Carbon.
That's cool. Shane Davis, he put out a video this morning. He was talking about the Eric July AI video. He made a very good point that I haven't really heard yet, in which he said the fundamental issue with making an AI comic and why people don't really want to buy one is because they themselves can make the exact same thing. Mm-hmm. Why would I pay somebody, right, for producing something that I could just type in and produce myself? It's a very good point. Yeah,
that is a fantastic point, actually. It's funny how I'd never heard anything like that from anybody ever. That's funny that Shane was the first one to say that. It's almost like Shane's, you know, like knows what he's fucking talking about. Anyway, well, how come he gave this dude that accentuated bulge? Why did he accentuate the bulge? You know what's funny too is like he has complete control over it. So just like an artist in certain senses. So he could have been like reduce the bulge, but he chose not to say that.
He chose enhance the bulge.
Yes, enhance.
He probably wanted a bigger bulge.
He's the opposite of me. Like I ask for like smaller boobs for my artists, and he asks for bigger bulges. Katie Did says, "I'll be there soon. Still cutting my husband's hair while listening." Oh man, I love the fact, like every time she has to comment, she's like halfway through. She's like, "Hold on," and she's gonna comment. He's like, "Wait a minute, just finish my hair." Grumpy old ninja Kentaru Oe says, Come on now, Skeleton Core Comics. You know there's nothing latent about Smiller's homosexuality. Hola and hail and shout out, he says. What's up, grumpy old ninja? Nice to see you, man. Very nice to see you. You're one of the OGs.
Hail, grumpy old ninja.
Keep going here. We got Grogu. He says, hail, what's up, Grogu? How you doing, man? Nice to see you again. Very nice indeed. And we got Survive Infinity. Here's Survive Infinity, ladies and gentlemen. Hail Comicsgate, he says. Yes, sir. Welcome, Survive Infinity. All right. I think that is everybody. Okay. So let me take this down because it is an affront to God and man. Horrible. I should probably...
Might be a perfect time to mention a book, like I said, is not created by AI. By our guest over here, Tom Tuttle.
Yeah, which one would that be?
Something that actually has quality and effort put into it.
Thank you. And thank whoever just pulled that up, because I still, after a month of doing streams, have no idea how to share screens. Shane tried to teach me, and my right hand in the air, I sat, I listened to him, and when it was over, I retained nothing. So this is our little project, 7 Amens Before Sundown. Me and Christian Rossi.
Let me try it with you real quick. So you see the screen in front of you, right?
Yes.
Is it 4 squares of all of us on the left and then one big screen? Okay. So now go down to the bottom there where you can see all of our names lined up at the bottom.
Okay.
You see that?
I see squares at the bottom. I don't see all your names lined up at the bottom.
Okay. Do you see mute for yourself? Do you see
I do. I see
stop
mute,
cam settings.
Stop cam settings. Yeah.
What else do you see there?
Stop cam settings, present, leaves studio, and having issues.
Yes. So press on present there real quick.
All right.
Now you should have several different options for things.
Yeah.
You see that?
Yeah.
Now one of those is going to be like
share
like web
screen.
Share screen, right? So I'm gonna take this down real quick so I can see exactly. So yeah, share screen.
Okay.
Press share screen. It'll bring up a little pop up.
I got it.
Do you have your campaign right now as a tab on your browser?
I don't, but I can.
Okay. Well, because try that real quick. I just want to, because I like people to be able to control their own campaigns so they can scroll when they want to. But also, you should. This is not going to be your first comic, right? Or your only comic, right?
No, I'm going to do one after this one as well. And depending on how things go, I've got like a whole stream of where this story can go.
Perfect. Well, yeah, you want to know how to be able to share your screen.
All right. So let me go back to StreamYard now.
Yep.
And share screen.
Share screen, and then it should be one of those. There's going to be a bunch of different tabs there. Brave tab, or I use Brave as my thing. So it could be Explorer or whatever for you. Window, and then entire screen. Go to your internet. Let me see. Oh, you sure did. Amazing. Look at this. Well, you got to go.
Hey, look at that.
We did it.
So now I got to do is go over to the screen, right? And then
you got a future in front of you, kid.
You've seen it here first on the Commandos, ladies and gentlemen.
Right.
Let me tell you, dry, he ain't much, but wet, he's a star. All right, is it up?
Yes, there we are. Perfect.
All right, there's the campaign. I'm sharing a screen. Holy crap.
Go ahead and play that trailer for us. Let's see that trailer real quick.
All right.
Yeah.
I shout out, 1,000,000 shouts out to the great Von Klaus.
Yes, sir.
Boy, talk about what we were talking about earlier about the difference between AI and and human created art. That there's nothing communicated in AI art, but look at everything Vaughn and Christian's artwork communicated in that like little 3-minute trailer, if that.
Actually, only 1 minute.
1 minute trailer. There you go.
Yeah.
It gives you everything you need to know. My guy Sawyer Bain is a bounty hunter who is very used to controlling his situation, very used to being in command of his environment. But something happened on his last job that caused him to give it up and pursue a quiet life, a godly life, a married life, until one horrible night, the past comes back, and when the dust settles, his wife is gone. And so he's got to pick up the guns again. He's got to dust off his skills as a tracker, and tracks her all the way to Half a Rock Hill, and in what is the worst kept secret in comicsdom, the town's full of vampires. So here's a guy who is
Tom, can
really...
you exit out of the full screen of the trailer?
Yeah.
Let's look at some of that art while you're... People want to see the art. Who's your artist again?
Christian Rossi, and he has been absolutely fantastic. He just turned in the last 3 pages of pencils today. So as of 3 hours ago, pencils are done. What we have here, am I still scrolling?
Yeah.
Okay. What we have here, I've got, it's a very simple campaign because it's my first campaign. So I didn't want to make it too complex or muddy the waters too much. So I've got 2 tiers. The first tier is the full color Grindhouse edition with this amazingly Grindhouse cover by Graham Nolan that just screams late 60s, man, doesn't it?
Yeah, fantastic.
Beautiful.
And this is 44 pages of story, 48-page book total. There's a 4-page art gallery at the end that also doubles as sort of a preview of coming attractions.
Very nice.
We've got the black and white Till Death Do Us Part edition with a cover by Peter Gilmore that is an homage to one of my favorite movies of all time, Freebie and the Bean, the 1974 cop buddy movie, starring Alan Arkin and James Caan. And when you get done with the book, you're going to see the through line between Freebie and the Bean and this vampire Western comic.
In this version, you said it is black and white. That means the interior is black and white?
That's correct. The interiors are all going to be line art.
With text still, right?
With text. It's basically a mirror image of the color one, just in black and white. And the reason that came about is when I first started getting inked pages in from Christian, I said, I kind of hate to put color on them. They're so beautiful. Yeah. And Christian and I kind of kicked it back and forth. I could go either way because the color scheme that I had in mind brought forth or invoked, that spirit of Grindhouse from the late 60s, whereas doing it in black and white invoked for me those old Marvel horror magazines from the mid 70s. But Christian said, people really do like color. So I was like, you know what? I'm not even going to decide. Let's just do both. So the Grindhouse and the Till Death Was Part, wonderful cover by Peter Gilmore.
You mean Old Man Gilmore?
Old Man Gilmore, who is not an old man compared to me. Compared to me, he might actually be younger. Remember, I was born in the late 19th century.
I'm glad that you decided to do both black and white and color, because the preview pages you have below, the colors was one of the things I commented on as being excellent. Mm-hmm. I love this style of coloring, where it's great wonderful use of shadows and a very simple palette on each page.
The panel that I've heard the most commentary about is everybody loves this saloon scene.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody remarks on that image.
Beautiful.
And it really does. I mean, it just tells you everything you need to know about And this isn't even Half a Rock Hill. This is the town before he gets to Half a Rock Hill. So this is like the town on the outskirts of hell.
Nice.
You know?
That guy to the left of the saloon doors.
Right.
That guy's awesome. I love that when you just place, because if you think about it, I'm assuming from the black and white, Rossi did that all in black there, and him popping out from the background there is all like the positive. I love that.
Kind of like when Michael Myers emerges out of the blackness in that first Halloween, when you see his mask come out of the doorway first before you see him.
Yes. Fantastic stuff.
And this
Carbon commented on the colors there. The color of the moon, I like that a lot too. The yellow. Oof.
Oh yeah.
The moon is it looks so good.
Well, that's actually still sun.
Oh, that's the sun.
Yeah, that's the
bullshit
sun.
Then it's horrible. No,
you could tell, Patrick, because it's red instead of blue. You know.
Well, it looks yellow to me.
This is Bane crossing Brawley Bridge into Half a Rock Hill, and in my mind, Brawley Bridge is a metaphor for the difference between the world and the world where bad things happen. You know, the real and the slightly unreal. And you go across that bridge. It's like the vestibule area or the waiting area in Hostel. You know, it's the place right before. This would be the last chance to turn back, and there will come a time once you've crossed the bridge where you wish you would have turned back.
What does that sign say there on the post?
Brawley Bridge.
So, okay, real quick. I see that there are power lines. What year does this occur in?
1870. And if there are any anachronisms, this is in an alternate world where those anachronisms don't matter.
But those lines would have been for telegram, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
Fair enough.
I remember. I was there back then.
Tom, one thing I wanted to say about this picture.
But I had a friend who was a student of the era who asked me some unbelievably complex question about the era, and I said, well, this is an alternate world where vampires exist, and also that thing didn't happen.
That's an easy way out.
Questions.
Yeah, you're always going to find people like that, by the way. Well, did this occur the year before?
Right. Alternate universe. This is one of my favorite pages in the whole book, because the way the sun is just going down, it's like these are your last moments. This is your last chance, and then poof, the moment's gone. And then he can just feel that he's being watched. He feels the eyes, and then like mushrooms, they all just pop out of the doors.
Amazing.
Epic.
And who's doing the coloring on the book?
This is Christian Rossi too. He one-stop shopping for the interiors. He was just a dream come true to find.
Wow.
How did you get in touch with him?
I had, I had the idea of doing this as a comic in the fall of 23. And I was watching at the time a live stream. This is the fall of 23, so it's before Trashcast. It's before anything. It was just a 90-minute conversation between Ethan and Narwhal. And so I started talking to Narwhal. You know, he had that show still has that show Creative Block. And he and I started, I started sending him stuff to look at, to have him give me notes. And we kicked it back and forth for about a year. And not quite a year, like the spring of 24, I asked him if he knew of anyone who was looking for work, and he put me on to Christian. And never looked back, man. Christian has been an absolute miracle. Very
nice. I love the way the sun looks on that page too.
Well, now that is the moon.
Ow!
Patrick, I think it's your glasses, man. There.
Right. That's what it is. It's not that I'm
Those
stupid.
blue shades.
Are these prescription shades?
I will say everything looks oh my God. When I lower the glasses, everything looks super red. That is actually kind of weird because my eyes are readjusting to the actual colors. Yeah. That is fascinating. That was a joke, though, ladies and gentlemen. That was a joke. I knew that was the moon.
But we were talking about the palette earlier, and the one thing that impressed me early on with Christian palette is that it hadn't occurred to me, although it should have, because it's so obvious, that a great chunk of this book takes place at night. And obviously your night colors, even under a full moon, you know, your palette is much more limited. And yet he made everything so vibrant, even though he only has a couple different shades of blue, black, and gray to play with. It really is amazing.
Yeah.
Yes.
And of course, in these panels, everyone's lit by the light of the gun.
It's definitely a less is more approach.
Mm-hmm.
Just a few, or just even a couple of colors on some of these pages, and it works really well. The moodiness is there, you know.
Makes me think of Mike Mignola. Like he's got very few, like a small kind of palette to it, but everything is exactly right to give the scene what it needs, you know.
Mm-hmm. It reminds me of, maybe I'm a basic bitch for saying this, but older Frank Miller.
No,
there's a lot of situations where the positive pops out from the negative space, and it's just, I love that kind of thing.
Or actually, Batman Year One with Mazzucchelli. Actually, this reminds me of that look a lot. Now that you mentioned that,
Grumpy old Ninja Kentaro. Oh, hey, Grumpy. How do I say that last word? Oh, hey. He says these colors are so good. Mint Salad will love them. Yeah, she's a big fan of colors, and women actually can see colors better than men can. If you guys didn't know that,
I did not know that.
Yeah, actually, they're capable of seeing several different shades that we literally don't even have the capacity to see. It's almost like men and women are different. You know, I'm becoming transphobic when I say that.
Oh, you just lost the stream in Canada.
That's right.
Uh-oh.
Differences between the sexes, you bigot. No, but and it's fascinating because when you think about it, I mean, if evolution was real, that means that, like, you know, when men were out hunting, that women were like looking for fruit and stuff, and so they could tell the difference between poisonous fruit and non-poisonous fruit.
Is that why we always have to smell the milk carton?
I think so.
Like a woman can just tell by the expiration date that we shouldn't drink it. Us guys like, well, let me. Yeah, she's probably right.
Yeah.
We're the ones who put the dates there. We know they're not trustworthy.
Right. Shooting ourselves in the foot. Oh, man. No, that's true, Grogo. I don't see color like that. Anyway. I am curious to see what this book would look like with Peter Gilmore coloring it. He's done such a great job with my book. It's a similar, not nearly as much as yours, where it's, you know, like, for instance, if you scroll down a little bit, that
you give me an idea, Patrick. Like your next book, you should say chromatically enhanced for women on the cover. You know, and have the colors especially made for
that'd be amazing.
The ladies there.
But that shot right there, the very first panel, I love that kind of thing. Look at that. Yeah. It's just three silhouettes, and you can barely see. What's the main character's name again? I'm sorry.
Sawyer Bane.
Sawyer Bane. You can barely, you know, he's obviously not a silhouette, but he's, you know, you can kind of see him, but then there's the doorway and the light shining in. Beautiful work. Beautiful
and
stuff.
This is him at his most vulnerable in the whole story. This is the sort of the lowest point where everything has failed him. His skills, his wits, his ideas, everything's failed him, and Providence ends up being the thing that saves him in this moment.
I can hear the Western soundtrack in my head.
Oh yeah. This has an internal soundtrack. Now I couldn't get the rights, or I could get the rights to it, but it would cost a bomb. But if anyone's familiar with the song "I'll Be Glad When You're Dead, You Rascal You,"
yes, by Louis Prima.
Yes.
Oh my God, I love that song.
It's a great song. There's been a million great versions of it, and Ingrid Michaelson did a version, I don't know, 2006 or so, that was totally going through my head as I composed these scenes.
Oh my God, that's so sick.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's just so unforgiving, and this is the moment where he is at literally at everyone's mercy.
And they're all vampires.
And they're all they have no mercy.
Yeah. I like this guy too. The little point, the guy who's pointing at the bottom.
Oh yeah, let me bring him up a little bit more.
Look at that guy. You fuck now, Sawyer Bane. You done fucked the wrong group of people.
That is the finger of scorn. That is the finger of absolute disgust.
Yes. Great stuff.
And then here's the face that launched 1,000 ships. There's the little woman. Because remember, above all, it's a love story.
Behind every great war is one woman who caused it.
The face that caused 1,000 deaths.
Wow. But she's a vamp now. She's a dirty
she's a vamp.
Dirty midnight walker. She's got to be put out of her she's got to be put out of her misery, right? I mean, that's what happens, right?
Ask me no questions, I'll tell you no lies.
Let me ask you, Tom. And actually, I would understand if this is something you want to save for when we read the book. What does the title mean? 7 Men's Before Sundown.
It has both a practical and a thematic meaning. When it first this idea came to me when I was in my 30s. Okay, I just gotten out of school. I was working at our local movie theater while I was looking to get a job, and Pulp Fiction had just come out. And so everybody ran, after they saw that movie, everybody ran back to their typewriters and started cranking out their shoot 'em up bang bang script. And I was no different. I started about a half dozen, bad guy in the suburbs type stories. And then I landed on this, and I liked the title because the title communicated to me so much. Late 60s, grindhouse, early 70s, spaghetti westerns. The kind of title that would be on a movie that you weren't allowed to see if you were a little kid in the 70s. Your parents would definitely never take you to a theater that would show this kind of movie. And if you were lucky enough to get there, the ushers knew you were way too young to go in. So you had to sneak in. You know what I mean? So that's as a practical thing, that's what I was looking for in terms of cadence to that title. It does have a thematic meaning as well. This book, I was originally going to do it as 2 22-page books, but then I realized how insane that was going to be. So, but I did have it written as a part 1 that would end on page 22, and then the part 2 begins from there. I just explained parts to your audience. This is what a part is. A part is a smaller segment of a whole. So it ends at his, as you just saw, with the 3 silhouettes in the cave, it ends at his lowest point. And he notes to himself that you got 3 choices, old man. You can turn up your toes and die. You can think of something, or you can say 7 amens before sundown, which is sort of an allusion to turn it over to Providence. So you can think of something yourself, you can resign yourself to dying, or you can turn it over to God.
That's a great line, man. I have to admit. And this works very well for like the international adaptations, because I could very well see this being made in a few years. 5 Alu Akbars before sundown.
There you go. Well, and there's an interplay that plays out very well with the whole vampire backdrop of the interplay between his life of violence and his life of faith. Because of vampires and the nature of what they're vulnerable to, there is an interplay there where the parts of his life that don't at first seem to be useful become more useful, and the parts that at first seem the thing that's going to protect him in the end turns out to not protect him at all.
Would you say that is inspired, and I don't mean to pry, so if you don't want to answer this question, that's fine, but would you say that's kind of inspired by, because I've met a lot of people who they were raised a certain way, and they go, this is all bullshit, I don't care about any of this. And then they get older and they're like, oh, wait a minute. Like a lot of this that my parents were trying to tell me was actually real. Is that something that maybe plays into that?
Yeah, I mean, there is a full circle aspect to this because, he gave up the life of violence for a life of faith. And then in his mind, the life of faith failed him, so he turns back to violence.
I see.
And at the end, I think we'll find that the two aren't necessarily distinct.
Interesting. Very interesting
Yeah.
indeed. So let's can you scroll up to the very top here? I want to see what we're at right now.
Yeah, hang on one sec. Well, I'll tell you, it's really easy to share screens. It's a lot easier than I would have thought it was.
Who did you try to share on last time? Who was it?
I was trying to share it on Shane's, and I just did not follow what he was telling me at all.
Oh. Well, Shane,
I can't find it. I can't see any buttons.
Shane, you have failed. You have failed miserably.
This is where we are. We are just shy of $6,000.
Listen, the Commandos are an elite group of comic book.
That's right. A crack squad.
Let me go ahead and try
Let's refresh it. See if we got something here.
5955. Let's see. Oh yeah, baby. Here we are.
There we go. $10 away.
Amazing.
People
I was going to blame it on the tariffs if nothing had happened. So
no, they're canceled. You didn't hear?
No, I heard, but I was still going to blame it on the tariffs.
No, I do highly recommend this book, though. People in the chat, I think you will be satisfied. So let's rally here.
We've got a lot of great people who have worked on it. As I said, unbelievably lyrical work on the inside from Christian Rossi.
Lyrical, he says.
Huh?
Lyrical was like it was a thing that was like who was it that said that? My comic is lyrical. Somebody said that in Comicsgate like a year or 2 years ago. You don't remember that?
I don't. I hope it wasn't an asshole though.
No, I don't think it was, but I just thought that was really funny because it was like a Comicsgate reference. Lyrical, very lyrical.
We've had two great covers spotlighting the immense talent of Graham Nolan and Peter Gilmore. Vaughn did that amazing trailer we just saw and the logo for the book itself. Vaughn was the first person I reached out to, and he turned in that amazing logo, which kind of like gave me the the propulsion to go forward. And he has just been an amazing like Obi-Wan throughout this process. We've also got, I told you about an art gallery in the back. We've got work from Dan Lawless, Peter Gilmore, and Vasilis has turned in some great art for the back.
Very nice.
And it's art with a purpose too, because the art will serve as kind of a guidepost for where this series is going.
Nice.
Okay.
Patrick, we got someone in the back.
Oh, I know. Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, let me introduce, I was trying to find a good segue, but they got nothing. Ladies and gentlemen, Katie did. What's up, Katie? How you doing?
Mwah.
Oh.
We can't hear you, Katie.
Roboting a little bit.
Yep.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, you sound good now.
There you go.
Okay. I lost internet connection there. Hey, Tom, how are you, hon?
A constellation of hails, Katie.
Oh, well, I heard what you said earlier while I was cutting my husband's hair, and that was very sweet of you, so thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah. I thought I'd stop by for a little bit and show some support.
How did your husband feel about listening to this show? Was he annoyed?
Oh, no, I had an earpiece in, so he couldn't hear.
Oh. So you're ashamed of us and you didn't want to show him. I get it. It's cool. It's all right.
Well, no, the kids are asleep. I ain't trying to blare loud,
It's like that line
Who's loud on this channel, huh? Nobody's loud on this channel.
You.
It's like that line from Cheers where Norm won't bring his wife to the bar and they ask, are you ashamed of her or ashamed of us?
Right.
A little bit from column A, a little bit from column B.
Right.
What style did your husband go for, Katie?
I did a 2. He gets a 2 all over.
High fade?
I used to, but now he's like, just do a 2 guard all over. And I'm like, oh, okay. So, and then I did a 2 on his beard. Yeah, full buzz, the beard, everything. I used to do high fades and stuff and do all kinds of like haircuts on him. But after we had kids, it's like, just let's just do this quickly and get it over with. And I said, I agree. I don't feel like I've cut hair all day. Let's just get this done.
I thought you were
Prison
talking about
style.
something else there for a second, but you said cutting hair. Okay. All right.
Yes, cutting hair, asshole.
I am far
Anyway.
too young for this conversation.
Yeah,
Cover your ears,
Tom's
Tom.
got virgin ears, Patrick. Have some consideration. Like, geez,
All
I'm
right.
a good Methodist boy.
you are. Oh my gosh, you're $10 away from 6K.
Look
I
at
see
that.
Try refreshing.
Yeah, let's do it
Tom.
tonight, people.
Let's take a quick peek. Can you refresh that?
Yep. Hang on one sec.
Come on, guys. He's only $10 away from 6K.
Dum 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 dum.
Hey!
Yay!
Amazing.
Yay!
Fantastic.
Thank you, chat. Thank you, chat.
Awesome.
That's right, ladies and gentlemen. We made $6,000 for Tom Tuttle on this show alone.
I couldn't have done
You're
without you
welcome.
guys.
Right?
It's the seasonal
That's awesome,
effect.
though, dude. Congratulations. 1,000. I love that. 1,210%. That's amazing.
I set a very low fulfillment figure.
Yeah, Patrick, you only got 110%. What gives, man?
Oh, yeah, I'm a loser. Hey, you know what? Should we play? No, we didn't agree upon that yet. We can't play fire
tonight?
unless it's an agreed upon. You got to like set a number and then reach it within the show. But thank
play
you guys.
fire. It's 6K. He hit
Yeah,
6K.
play fire.
I'll
I
take
agree
it.
with Katie.
Well, no, let's set a goal though.
No
If
objection.
we get the 6, how about
Yeah, I agree. I think we should set a
250.
goal.
Well, we were just saying we're $10 from 6,000, and then we
Well,
crossed it.
But that was
there was no build
before.
up though?
Okay, so this is what we're gonna do, folks. If we get to let's say 6,175.
Ooh, okay.
It's not the biggest number in the world. We can do that. We can do that here in this show. If we get to 6,175, we'll play fire tonight.
Yeah,
Does
realistic.
that sound fair?
I like that.
Okay.
I like
Okay.
that.
Let's
I
rally
think that'd be
together.
good for you
chat.
to do, Patrick, is start like setting like just start small and work your
Yeah.
way up with goals when
Yeah.
you have people on. Like I think that'd be a great idea. It's a
I
great
love
way
that.
to motivate
It's a
people.
humble brag. I love when Katie comes on. She's like, all you got to do is set a small goal, Patrick. I mean, you're so small. All you got to do
It's
is
like Clark Kent
shut
talking about
up.
Superman. Gee, I don't know, Lois, but if
Right.
Superman were here, I think he'd
right.
say.
That's exactly.
Oh my god.
That's exactly what it is.
Whatever.
Oh my god. Oh, fantastic. Well, that's right, ladies and gentlemen. Please, we need to get to 6,175. We need 125 more dollars. That's all. That's it. That's all that is. We got a ton of people in the chat. We got 27 people watching right now.
Yay.
By the way, if you're on X, can you please do me a favor? Can you try to comment and say, "Hey, I'm on X," because it says can't post comments to some destinations. I don't know if that's just me or if it means everybody who's watching.
I think it's. I never knew what it meant by that either.
And specify if you mean X, the social network, or the drug, because,
Oh no, dude. I mean the drug. No, I'm not. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking
That's
about
a whole different story.
the website. It is yeah, it really is. I'm not going to get into that story right now. Okay, look, Carbon Heart says test. Look at that. Amazing.
Yeah.
So it works on X.
I did it on X.
oh,
Where are all the
And,
comments
by
from
the way,
all my folks
let
on
me
X?
briefly,
ahead.
do want to briefly ask the chat kindly, would you hit the like button, share, and subscribe if you hadn't yet?
Yes.
And
How
let's
many
make this
subscribers
happen,
do you have, Patrick?
Not enough. So I said on the last show that there was an email sent to me about the partner program, and I didn't click on it at that time. It was on while we were during the show, so I couldn't look at it. And then I've been searching for it, and I can't find that email. So I went onto YouTube Studio, and YouTube Studio says you need at least 1,000 subscribers, and you need 4,000 confirmed hours of people watching your stuff.
I changed it. It was 500 subscribers and 3,000 watch time hours.
Oh my god. In the words of Khabib Nurmagomedov, like the heavyweight, the middleweight champion of the world, ladies and gentlemen, this is number one bullshit. Okay, they're trying to hold us down, the Comicsgate Commandos. This is just a vain attempt to try to hold the Comicsgate Commandos down. But what I need you folks to do, there's 26 of you watching on X/YouTube. Please come over to YouTube, Even if you're on X, give us a like, a subscribe, and share the video, please, just so we can get monetized. That way, when you guys call me gay, you can I at least can get paid for it.
So explain to me, Patrick. So you got the email, right? Is this what you? So you got the
I
email
thought
saying that.
it popped up on my phone. You know what I mean? How it pops up on your phone. But I didn't look at it. It said partner program YouTube from YouTube. And I was like, oh, that's sick. I'll look at that later. And I didn't. And then I was like searching for it. I searched both of my emails for it and I could not find anything from them. So then I went to the YouTube studio and like, how do you get into the partner program? And it said 1,000 hours or, 4,000 hours of confirmed watching and 1,000 subscribers. And I have 776, if I'm not mistaken.
That's a good number.
It should say when you go to YouTube Studio, you go down to earn, and it should say on the side, like to fill out the paperwork. So it's not letting you do that.
I just clicked on that. Start your earning journey earlier. Begin to earn sooner.
It should be on your right.
Go. Two-step I need to set up two-step verification. Okay. And then eligibility.
You can do this after the show, Patrick.
Yeah, you're right, but I'm gonna do it now. It says I need 700 more hours of people watching. 2,000. I have 2,393 valid public watch hours, and I need 3,000. So
you're close. So when that happens, it should pop up on YouTube Studio. Go to earn, and on the right it says set the payment threshold or whatever.
Weird.
So it should give you an option then to do it. But keep looking for that email, and if you can't find it, just do the search in your email and put in YouTube, AdSense, Google AdSense, or something like that, and hopefully it'll pop up for you.
Thank you. I appreciate that. All right, you're dismissed now, Katie. Thank you for being here. And,
all right, well, everybody have a great night.
Thank you, Katie.
Right. I got what I needed out of you.
But Tom, before I forget, I have a question for you.
Sure. I don't guarantee answers, but I do guarantee responses.
Back into the Western theme, because I myself, I love Western movies, and the music style of the trailer has that kind of country guitar. It's a great soundtrack. So what would you say is your number one favorite Western movie?
Oh, it's got to be The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly.
Nice.
I mean, The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly is like, it's like an apocalypse on the side of the moon. I mean, the thing that's so great about Westerns is what people discovered about 20 years ago with zombie apocalypse movies. When you have a post-apocalypse or a Western, you can create anything because they were essentially creating their society at the time. So, like, you have really the vastest palette, or the vastest, not palette, what am I trying to say, canvas on which to paint imaginable. The
setting is perfect. Yeah, you're right. Like, you can put any story in there, and it does have an apocalyptic feel to it.
Well, and you kind of have to think, you kind of have to thank Sergio Leone for that, because all the Westerns prior to Leone, or at least the lion's share of them, they had their own internal rules. There were white hats and black hats, and this is what happens when you go into a saloon and blah, blah, blah. And then Sergio Leone shows up and says, yeah, screw all that. I know all the rules. Now I'm going to break all the rules.
More of a free-for-all. I agree. Obviously, Clint Eastwood, the man with no name, he's actually one of my favorite characters too. But I'd have to say my favorite, which is close to The Good and the Bad and the Ugly, is Once Upon a Time in the West.
Yes.
Oh, yes.
With Charles Bronson.
Yeah.
Fucking awesome.
One of the few movies where Henry Fonda is evil.
Yeah. Blue Eyes.
Yeah.
His genius performance as well.
And anyone who hasn't seen it, watch it. ASAP.
Pure magic. The actors, the music, the direction, it all gels into this incredible film.
Which one are you talking about when you say that?
Once Upon a Time in the West.
Once Upon a Time in the West.
By Sergio Leone.
I'll write that down.
Starring Charles Bronson as harmonica.
One of my favorite exchanges was in Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. It was a behind-the-scenes thing where Leone is explaining to Clint Eastwood and Eli Wallach about what it's going to look like during the explosion scene, and he's talking about how the bombs are going to go off here and it's going to be here, and Eastwood turns to Leone and says, "Where are you going to be, Sergio?" Because the actors are like right beside the explosion. Hey, where are you going to be, pal? Just checking.
Damn.
Yeah, I'm going to be 100 feet away.
Right.
Yeah, right.
But man, so many great scenes, so many like just perfect little nuggets of moments in that movie, like the where Tuco is going to go face down Angel Eyes, and he's scared, and he's walking up the street. Every sound makes him turn, and then he looks, and there's Eastwood to the left of him, and he just goes, "What were you going to do? Die alone?" And then the music starts, because now he's not afraid to die anymore, because he's got his pal with him.
It is great. The whole trilogy is awesome.
Yeah, it really is.
Fistful of Dollars.
A few more.
Good stuff. What about you, Katie? Hello?
Sorry, I realized I was muted there. No, I like it. I like this Western vampire style, and I like that you did it before like the first story had come out about vampires and stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Wait a minute.
Shut up. Don't you go there with me. Tom knows what I'm talking about. It's late at night. I've had a long day. I'm blonde. Give me a fucking break, okay?
Exactly what you're talking about.
Thank you, Tom. See, this is why Tom's awesome, Patrick.
No, I'm not crazy at the moment. Like, I'm actually not trying to be a dick right now, but like, you do know Aaron Lopresti came out with a Western comic book about vampires.
Yes, I do.
Right?
I'm talking about when it comes to story setting like his. Like he's doing this before anybody knew what vampires were. That's what I like about Tom's book, is his character and his world is based before people knew what vampires were or looked like.
Learning on the go.
Okay.
Yes, that's what I like about it.
All right.
It adds more suspense to it. It's different. It's unique. The setting, the time setting.
And in many ways, the vampires are just like an element to this story. The heart of the story, Katie, is the love story.
But the love story's tragic.
I didn't say tragic. I just said not nice.
Oh,
I did.
You know what? A love story is a love story. You know.
That's right.
You're supposed to have drama and stuff in love stories.
There's drama.
You know,
they all end in tragedy.
Yeah.
No,
what
if
Carbon?
They do not.
You were the worst thing that ever happened to the best thing that ever happened to you.
That's a fucking great tagline. That
is a
your
good tagline
for your fucking book?
Yes.
It's the heart of the book, man. The heart of the book.
You got to put that at you got to put that on the cover on one. You should put that on the Graham Nolan cover.
Okay.
Like, I mean, just because there's the silhouettes and but
right.
Dude, at the top there, what if you were the worst thing to ever have happened to the best thing that ever happened to you? That'd be ooh.
Yep.
It's very lyrical, Tom.
Yeah.
Very lyrical.
Yeah.
It's like poetry. It rhymes.
By the way, who was that said that? It was let's see here.
Please not Eric. Please not Eric. Please not Eric. Please not Eric. Please not Eric.
No, somebody said it in here. It was Skelly. Skeleton Core Comics told me that was Artsy Bear.
Oh, that's good.
He said it's very lyrical. That's where that comes from. Okay.
I'll follow in those footsteps.
Yeah.
That works.
It wasn't Eric, Tom, but I bet that next time Eric does a book, it's going to have parts in it now that you explain what parts are.
I did let him behind the curtain on what a part is. It's like 2 parts to a 2-page spread.
Oh, I thought we were talking about body parts, and I'm like, I don't know if Patrick knows one.
Katie, don't make me kick you.
Oh, okay. How the tables turn all of a sudden.
Did you hear what Patrick said about colors before? About how women can see more colors than men?
They can. Yeah.
I think it's true. That's what it attracts us to. Yeah. I mean, never mind. I was about to go like racial there, but we're sticking to the book here.
No, you could say, hey, this is Commandos.
The show started racial, to be honest.
You know how it goes here.
I was talking shit about the Indians for a bit
like
there, Katie, so you can feel free. Just lay it all out.
No, what I'm saying is like, no, the like colors for me, like when it comes to books, I want something that's gonna pop, like that's gonna get my attention, that's really gonna make me just stare at the page, you know, like for instance, like Shane Davis's comic, you know, like there's so much and the colors and everything looks good. So after I read it, I went through just to look at the panels because it's just, I don't know, it's really breathtaking. Like I really like books like that just make me want to be like, I want to go back and just look at this. I just want to look at it. Now that I know the story, I want to go back and just enjoy the beauty of these colors. So like for instance, like Aaron's Mortal Rising from Jose Garcia, you know, like his colors are just beautiful. And then like Salties. And what I like about yours, Tom, is that it just fits with what your story is. Like each panel to me or page is like a different color palette, and it works so well. Like just, I don't know. It's so hard to explain. It's just,
well, Christian does two things really interesting here, that it's very sepia, very, very washed out colors. And yet through the colors, you can tell kind of what time of day it is. Like the colors get more vibrant as it turns to evening. You know, right before dusk, it's almost like a blood sun.
Yeah.
You know?
But during the day, it's like this kind of beige, yellowish, kind of washed out. Yeah.
Even Shane liked that. Shane liked how you did that. No, it was John. I think John said he liked how you had that set up with the colors and like knowing it's day and night.
That's right.
Like this is good. I like
very
this.
Obviously daytime.
Yeah, because the turning of the sun and the moon are essentially another character in this book, because they kind of control when things are going and when things are stopping.
Right.
It is funny though, because it could go either way, and I'm not just saying that because earlier Patrick thought that was the moon. The sun setting.
Wow,
but honestly, no. This actually is kind of
one more word, Katie. One more word.
No, I could see that being the moon too, where it's that kind of near, I don't know,
far-sighted
twilight. There's this kind of moment in the middle towards dawn, right, where you could still see the moon, and then the color of the sky is in between night and day.
Oh yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah,
I did want to say on this page before, Tom, that Kristen has done, like, good God, the smoke, the fog of war is what I call it.
Right.
That kind of obscures some of the background there. I love how, like, in the very background, you know, you've got these harsh, very, you know, distinctly, like, they're just straight up black, those things in the kind of mid background. Right. But then behind that, the fact that the sky bleeds into that kind of fog of war there. Right. Oh God, that's just, when I saw that, I was like, damn. Like,
someone else commented on that too, and I like it because this is kind of like the gates of hell. He's marching into the unknown for, you know, reasons that span from the noble, you know, love, to the ignoble, revenge. And he's marching into this thing, and everything is just looming in front of him. And then in the way back it's the unknown. And he's small compared to this vast thing in front of him.
Yes. Absolutely beautiful. Just fantastic. And then here we've got the moon, and you can see the color change there. I love when people draw in these lines, by the way.
That's the moon setting, Patrick.
The sun setting.
The sun setting.
I meant to say the sun. I'm sorry.
I know what you meant.
The moon is right here. I know that. We've already talked about this.
I love that, the use of those panels, to be honest, because one might argue that it's a waste of real estate, you know, because there's no text here. Well, there's probably not going to be text on this page, right, Tom?
No, there might be. I'd have to go back and look. There might be one little like caption thing in the bottom. But I think this page is silent.
But for the most part, this is just visual, and I love
Correct.
it, man, because it's moody. You see the motion in it. It's setting the scene. It's like a movie. It really is.
Well,
like a movie.
I hate to coin a phrase, but it's more cinematic.
Yeah, no. Well, yeah, I just said it's like a movie.
No, I was talking about the 2-page spread. It's cinematic. If you have to turn.
Oh, right. Yeah, there you go.
I gotta step away real quick. I gotta take a I gotta go to the bathroom, and then I'm gonna smoke a cigarette. But I'll be right back, ladies and
I
gentlemen.
can talk about this page for a long time.
Lee, do you want me to stay here? You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna let you share it. That way you can do whatever you want.
All right, let me bring it up.
While I am away. Carbon, make sure he doesn't use any foul language like fuck or cunt or anything like that, please.
Actually, I would encourage it.
Yeah, I was about to say, like, what the
Katie, please behave yourself. You're constantly a thorn in my side, so I'd appreciate it if you would just not talk at all while I was gone.
Oh, Mr. Smarty Pants over here. Okay, well, don't choke on your cigarette while you're out there.
First, after a glass of wine.
Yes. Angry Katie. Turn on the Angry Katie mode. That's fun. That's always fun. All right, I'll be back in a minute.
I don't want to be Angry Katie. Angry Katie causes problems, and people EFAP.
Everybody wants you to be Angry Katie. It's fun for everybody.
I can't even.
I noticed that.
My imagination is not elastic to picture you angry.
Well, thank you. I mean, I only get pissed when it's like really necessary. Like the last time I blew my top was on Liam Gray's stream when the whole Dan video kids thing came out. That was the last time
but that was worth
spit
it.
fire, and I've been calm since then.
Yeah.
The best advice I've ever heard came from Bruce Boxleitner when he said, "Never start a fight, but always finish one."
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Oh.
I'll have to keep that in mind. Yeah.
I'm like
very
a
interesting
cookie machine tonight.
Well, that would be ideal.
I'm like a fortune cookie machine tonight.
You are.
Quotes.
You are.
They say they actually say that statistically, the person who throws the first punch tends to win the fight. Actually,
that's right.
Yeah,
I'm quoting everybody now. I may as well quote John Constantine, where he said, I think Garth Ennis wrote this issue, but he said, I'm pretty useless in a punch up, but the one thing I've learned is that there's so much like bravado in the beginning that the guy who punches first, you punch first, you punch hard, and you just might win.
Yeah. Also, you have the advantage,
right?
Because if you land that first punch, then you're way ahead.
It's over.
Strike first, strike hard, no mercy.
By the way, I want to say that you did really good on John's stream. Was it 2 weeks ago? You did really good. Like, you knew your pitch. You weren't nervous. You were comfortable. Like, it's so nice to see that, because some people, it's like you gotta like do everything you can to get them just to talk about the book. Like you just took the reins and did good. I think you did a really good job.
One thing I learned right at the beginning of this campaign, and I don't remember whether someone told me this or I read it, but it's good advice, is hone your pitch down so that it fits any time frame. So what you need is a 2-minute pitch, you need a 10-second pitch, you need a 3-word pitch, and then you can sort of adapt the pitch to the time you've got. I can do a 10-minute pitch and talk for at length, or I can give you the 3-second pitch: cowboy versus vampires. Boom.
Well, would be a good thing you should try to do, and I'll remind you next week. Pete Sametti, every Friday night, he does something called Wednesday night, excuse me. He does open mic nights where people just hop on there and give like their 5-minute, he times them for 5 minutes to give their pitch, because he leaves a link in the chat, so you just pop in whatever. And he gives you 5 minutes, but it's good if you can hone that 5 minutes down and really grab his audience. I mean, I always think that's a good practice. It's a good way to get on there and challenge yourself. So I'll remind you next Wednesday. I'll send you the link and be like, hey, get on there and pitch this.
I'll definitely do it. I love Pizza Medi. I love Alterna. I discovered Alterna right around the same time I discovered Comicsgate, and he does great work with that company. And that's where I discovered Christian. I think Christian did what was it, Voidwalker for Alterna? And that was like my first exposure to Christian's work. So yeah, Alterna and Pizza Mini are great.
Yeah, I'm trying to get Pete to come on my show. He said he couldn't do mornings, but he would try to do nights. But from what I was told, like, it's really hard to convince him to go on other shows, which I can understand. I mean, the dude's been through a lot of shit over the years, so I get it. But no,
He's a cool dude.
He is. I went to he was doing a comic book. He was selling off his comic book collection, like auctioning off. And I sat there, watched for a little bit, and I was like, let me just ask. So I said in the chat, I said, hey, do you have any like Wonder Woman issues left or anything? He said, well, not for tonight, not in this pile. He said, but there should be one on eBay. If it is still there, let me know. So I went on his eBay and I found it. And I said, hey, here it is. And he's like, okay, so it's like $5.58. He's like, I'll give it to you for $4. And so I was like, cool. And he's like, actually, if you buy King Cryptide issues 1 through 5, I believe he said, and that with shipping, just pay $18. And that's it. So I was like, shit, you got a deal, bro. So I did that, and then he pulled out an old Batman. I wish I remember what issue it was. It was an old Batman comic. And I got that too and added it to the pile. So like I did some pretty good shopping that night.
How cool is that?
So,
Nice.
yeah. Got pretty lucky. I'm trying to get in. Wonder Woman's always been like the one person that like I always was attracted, like catching and watching when I was a kid, just she's so patriotic looking and stuff. And I think that's what like grabbed my eyes to her. And it's like, I want to read some of the old stuff, man. Like I want to get into this. So I got, what is it? Oh God, this Patrick would kill me if I didn't get this right. Is it George Perez?
Yeah.
Oh
yeah, his
Wonder Woman issue
on
number 22. That's the one I got.
Okay.
Nice.
That was when I was in high school that George Perez was doing Wonder Woman.
Really?
Yeah, it was my senior year. It was right after Crisis. And Mike Barron was doing The Flash, John Byrne was doing Superman, and Perez was doing Wonder Woman.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Hold on 1 second. I got to get the power cord to my laptop. But no, that's good. That's awesome. So that's going to be my mission, is start trying to grab some Wonder Woman comics here and there.
And if you like patriotic characters, go back to the Golden Age. Every hero had some patriotic name, Fighting American and Lady Liberty and Man. Obviously,
The
Captain
YouTube
America.
comic auctions is a great idea. When Cecil was doing it on his channel, that was awesome because he was actually selling off some like valuable books.
Yeah.
And he didn't care. Like he was letting people kind of steal them with like really low numbers, like $100 for like a collection of books that I think like one collection. I was looking up the value on eBay, and like it totaled to like maybe $3,000. I didn't buy that collection, but someone else was lucky enough to get it. But I don't know why he stopped. Maybe for that reason, because he's like,
You ran out of comics.
No, he said he had a huge collection that he like barely scratched the surface of. But maybe Juju convinced him to hold on to them.
I sold my collection back at the beginning of the pandemic, and I got maybe pennies on the dollar for what I sold.
Yeah, it's rough.
Yeah,
it's rough letting go. Same thing happened to me back. What was it like? I was still young, and my father had a huge collection, and it takes up so much space. Usually, it
will fill any room that it's in. If it's in a small room, it'll fill a small room. You put it in a big room, it'll fill a big room.
And usually that's the reason. And so we moved at one point, and he just sold every box, and it was just like, oh man, these would have been worth money. And we had like the Death of Superman, and like the whole 80s and 90s runs of Batman, Superman, X-Men. So,
boy, those great stretches on both Batman and Superman where they had the triangle, and so there was a new installment of that story every week.
Yeah.
Like the Superman story would go through all 4 titles. And so every week, you didn't have to wait a month. You just had to wait a week. And every week, a new installment would come out.
Yeah, that was kind of my favorite era.
I loved that era from Doomsday, Funeral for a Friend, and then the Reign of the Supermen was just a great time to be reading Superman comics.
Yeah, not many people talk about those 4, right? Like alternate Supermen that were born of the death of Superman.
It was cool. What was it? The Eradicator, or the last son of Krypton, they called him, but then he was the Eradicator, and then Steel,
and then Steel,
the Cyborg, and then the Superboy clone.
Yeah, Superboy.
Which one was the blue energy one? There's the.
That's what Superman turned into in the late 90s. So, I don't remember what caused it, but something happened that caused him to be made out of pure electric. They were trying to change him up, change his look, change his powers. So he, for like, I don't know, maybe a year, he was like pure energy and had like a white containment suit. So he just had this like white and blue look. And then he got split into 2. He was Superman Red and Superman Blue.
Yeah.
And then Poochie had to go back to his home planet, and it was all over.
Womp womp. Oh, Patrick says I got the name right. Good. But you know what? Actually, what was it? Monday, Mike Barron came by, and he was promoting his Nexus Omnibus.
Mm-hmm.
And when I said it, I screwed it up the first time saying Omnibus. And I was like, damn it. In the back of my head, I'm like, Patrick is going to make fun of me. I just totally screwed up pronouncing it in front of Mike Barron like a moron. So
pronounce it.
But I corrected myself. I fixed it.
I was there, Kitty. It was glorious.
Okay. Yeah.
How did you pronounce it? Like, octopus or something?
No, I mean, she was saying like
I can't pronounce it real good unless I think about it before I open my mouth.
Really, really well. That's the proper grammatical way to say what you've just said, but
yeah,
you know,
I'm learning my pronunciations.
I hear a lot of DC stuff. Anyway, that actually leads me into the next question.
Oh my God, here we go. You know what, Patrick? Let me tell you something. Speaking of DC stuff, you guys scarred me the other night with that shit about.
I didn't do anything.
History
the chat did it all.
What happened?
Of Wonder Woman and like why she was like all this stuff, and I'm like, I could have gone my whole life not knowing that Wonder Woman was into kinky shit, and the dude that wrote her is into kinky shit.
Oh yeah, he was into bondage.
She's got a lasso.
I was like, yeah,
I can't look at the lasso the same anymore, man. I can't look at it the same anymore. Like all my childhood just went up the
Sign me up and
plains.
lie to me. You didn't get like a bondage feel for that?
No, I didn't get no.
Well, your husband certainly did when you broke out the whip the first time.
Invented the lie detector, right?
Oh, shut the fuck up, Patrick.
Look, even though the artist was a pervert, first of all artists are perverts. Let's just get that out.
They are.
Let's get that out of the way.
Is that a personal attack or something?
Yes.
No, well,
I don't know what you're talking about, man.
Music.
Listen, Carbon, I really don't think you should generalize artists like that, calling us obsessed or sexually perverted, things like that. You have no proof of what you're advancing.
Wait, I want to settle a disagreement here, Katie. Those boobs that are on Frederick's. Okay, I'm gonna make it big. They're already kind of big, but let me. Katie, what size are these in real life? This is a skin tight suit she's wearing.
C's.
Okay.
I think those are bigger than that.
I win.
They used to go all the way up here.
Well, can you see that line there? Can you see that blue line there, Katie?
That was the first draft.
So what would those be if that was the first draft there?
Almost a D.
Oh,
to me,
really?
like D's are like Dolly Parton D's. Like I'm thinking like,
huh? Yeah. Those look kind of like D's.
Like
And
these
now they're
dots.
C's now. Almost like I was
Well-
completely 100% accurate when I said that they were like almost double D's the first time, and now they're like somewhere between, you know.
Oh, that's right.
Right
You
now,
want the
C's.
boobs to go down a little bit. You don't want to. Yeah, that's
there's
right.
a lot of
I don't
there's
like
a lot of
watermelons.
there's a lot of mastophobia on here,
No,
Katie.
no.
People
I
would
just
say
like
that
I just don't like
those-
watermelons, and sometimes artists like who was it? Who was it? You, Carbon, who said they were degenerates?
See, it's not about
artists?
realism because
Perverts, yeah.
Perverts.
When you go into superhero comics, the breast size is actually representative of the power of the character.
Oh, I didn't know that.
There's a whole book written on that. I have it
My
on my
bad.
shelf. No,
Well,
it's
that
true.
makes sense with Finbat with Apex Comics, right?
Mhm,
That's true.
exactly.
Yeah.
Well, you got to think about it realistically. These are athletic people, right? They need to be able to move comfortably. They're going to be fit.
Yes.
Generally speaking, when a woman is very fit, she's going to have a lower percent body fat. The
Mhm.
breast size is going to be a little bit lower.
Slightly
That's
reduced.
what happens.
Right.
And then they tend to get implants, which is why most of these female athletes have implants.
Well, you didn't need to say that part, but the rest of
Well,
it, yeah.
it's true. Yeah.
You just-
Every woman has her own special magic.
Her implants have C4 in them.
C4, right?
Like fembots.
It would have been D4, but I had to reduce it.
Well, they look nice on her. Like I kind of like. I'm with Patrick a little bit. Like I get y'all love some tits. Like I get it. Like they're great, but it's like, man, y'all make them way too big. Like let's be realistic here. You know, like if she had that big of a tit, she's gonna have reduction
Hold on.
surgery because them
If we-
bitches are gonna hurt her
If
back.
we wanted to
Yup.
be realistic, we wouldn't be making superhero comics. The guys are no more realistic than the women.
Well,
That's
maybe
one
in
point.
your comics, but in my comics, things happen. Like for instance, that Plazrad you see around her. Do you see that shit? So that doesn't just like, oh, you know, it hits somebody in the chest and they're like, oh, you know, damn, I got hurt by Plazrad. That's kind of hurt a little bit. No, sir. In my comic book, that Plazrad hits somebody's body and their fucking flesh melts off their bones. That's what
Ooh,
happens.
Nice.
So, and we're going to see that in phenomenon number 2. Speaking of which, I'm sorry, Tom, but I have to do
No,
this. because,
absolutely.
It is my show after all. It's my show after all. I'm just kidding. Actually,
Be
What
a
does this have to
diva,
do
why
with?
don't
We
you?
were talking about
Jeez.
breast size, though. What does this have to
I
do
know.
with that?
And then he like steers it away. I think it's making him uncomfortable, Carvin.
all right. Well,
Like,
let me
he's
steer, let
getting
me
a little
let
like
me steer
shy
it-
and
Mastophobia.
uncomfortable.
let me steer it back to Carbon here for a second. If anybody in the chat or anybody on the panel knows how I can make Carbon like have moderator controls over what happens on the StreamYards, please let me know.
It's
Because-
giving him you give him the stream key.
Stream? There's a stream key.
Yes. So
Katie's
when you
an
go to your
expert.
main page on StreamYard, I think you go to was it members or something?
Does he have to have
And
a
you can have
YouTube
like a
channel of his own
co-host
to do
and
that?
you have to put Carbon's email in there and then he gets the email and he approves it. I think it takes like a day or so.
Okay. That's what I'm going to do then. Because
you can only have 2, though, I believe, right?
No,
So you
just
have-
one.
Well, yeah. The second one would be Patrick, so you can have you
Right.
and another person. Yeah,
there can only be the rule of 2. Who knows what that reference is?
it's like Sith.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. I should give it to Frederick because he said Sith before Colonel Carbon did, but well,
I
Carbon's
gave up
my-
on Star Wars. Yeah.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Carbon, would you accept such a burden if I were to give it to you?
I shall be the keymaster. Yes.
Then so it is written, so it shall be done. Amazing. Well, ladies and gentlemen, let me show you something else that I think is pretty amazing. It is a really cool comic by yours truly. I wrote, created, and did the
Boom.
layouts for Phenomenon number 2, ladies and gentlemen. This is the next in my long form series about my story about essentially a revolution occurring in the Soviet Union in 1999, which to people who know about the Soviet Union It shouldn't exist in 1999, but it does in this universe because of the atomic war, which caused a bunch of differences in our timeline. Everything's very realistic except for the things that aren't realistic. And so let me show the trailer here by the amazing, our very own Von Claus, ladies and gentlemen. If you're fighting to live, then it's okay to die. The answer to your question is welcome to tomorrow. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Phenomenon number 2 picks up right where we left off with phenomenon number 1. If you folks have gotten that comic, I know that Carbon, Frederick, and well, Katie, you got the Reyes cover, didn't you?
Yeah. Yes, I did.
I know you guys have it. Tom, I'm not going to reveal your true name.
I am a backer.
I think you have the first issue as well, don't you?
That is correct.
Amazing. Do you have the did you back me on the first campaign with the Rob Hunter cover?
That I don't remember.
That's fair enough. I
honestly don't remember. I backed the first book some time ago. I don't remember what the cover I got.
So you did when I was my very first campaign. You backed that one?
Oh yeah.
Oh, thank you, sir. I thought you did. I couldn't for sure know. Like there was a bunch of different options of like which one is Tom Tuttle, and I knew you had backed one of them.
That is correct. Yep.
So thank you, sir.
I've got it back here on my table.
Really?
Yep.
Oh, amazing. Thank you. Thank you very much. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we have phenomenon number 2. If you want to catch up on phenomenon number 1 into 2, there's only a few options for that. So we have the Jimmy Reyes cover right here, which is I charged $20 for people the last time, so now it's $30 because I feel like it's only fair to the people who backed me the first time that they get something cheaper than people who do it the second time. But this might very well be the last Jimmy Reyes cover we ever see. Let me actually scroll down to the. Oh, I didn't put it here. Oh, what a stupid mistake of mine. I'm sorry. Well, the Jimmy Reyes cover, it's utterly beautiful. We've got Blue Rose on the front here. We've got Ember, also affectionately known as Jenny Scab, the female version of Johnny Scab, down here, which was a complete I didn't model it after Johnny. Okay, I don't have like a secret.
That's
desire.
an uncanny,
Sure.
uncanny similarity to Johnny Scab's mask. By the way,
It's okay. Well,
it's okay, Patrick. We understand that, like, you have, like, you look at Johnny as, like, this idol, and it's understandable, you know?
Who doesn't look at
it.
Johnny as an idol, though? I mean, come on.
I know.
The character's different from Johnny, but who does not look at Johnny Scab, the king of the scabs, the ambassador from England, as an idol? You know what I mean?
I know.
Come on.
I think you purposely made this happen.
No, I actually didn't. This character was created and designed a good year and a half before I met Johnny. So,
well, then maybe it was like, what is it called? Intuition.
It's this thing called providence.
Premonition.
It's
cosmic.
Whatever. Oh, what the
no, it's
words.
cosmic convergence.
There you go.
Look at you with the fancy words too.
Yeah. Cosmic convergence means that multiple things throughout the universe combined at one time, Katie. To make something that people think is one thing, but correlation is not causation. So,
well, actually, I'll put it in terms that Katie will relate to.
Yes,
it's like the zodiac.
Really?
Yeah, so now she gets it. She understands what we mean by that
instantly.
totally get it now.
Amazing.
Oh, I get it now.
So that's your last chance to back Phenomenon #1, ladies and gentlemen. It will never be sold again, and I mean that this time. So,
get it before Mercury goes into retrograde.
No. Seriously, this is it, folks. This is the last time you can do #1 because #1 was drawn, lettered, and colored. I mean, chromatically enhanced by a different artist, and since I'm no longer using his abilities, I have decided that it just doesn't feel right to me to keep going, to keep selling that. I mean, I could if I wanted to, but I don't want to. But now we've got Claudio Sepulveda on line work here. Fantastic, beautiful stuff. We've got Peter Gilmore on the colors. Obviously, the old man Gilmore, as he's known to everybody around.
He's amazing, isn't he?
He really is amazing. A bit of a bell end, but he is amazing. If you want to get all of the new covers that, if you've already backed my other campaigns, then this is the option I would recommend to you. The $50 Phenomenon #2 Paul Ravoche cover, both of the Peter Gilmore covers, the black and white, which is in my opinion the official cover of Phenomenon, of all the Phenomenons. All the Phenomenons are going to have a black and white cover as the official cover. And then, we've got the chromatically enhanced. And then we have this beautiful piece. Let me scroll down. Oh, wait, let's scroll up here. Beautiful new cover by our very own Frederick Gumon for Phenomenal Tales #1 Minotaur. Just fantastic stuff right here. Absolutely fantastic.
Thank you, Patrick. This is my first comic book cover.
Let me scroll down to the big picture here.
Collector's item.
People can see it. Yeah, here we go. With absolutely fantastic.
Peter Gilmore doing the colors again. Beautiful work.
Frederick, what you're drawing right now, is that also going to be a cover?
You'd have to ask Patrick.
It's going to be the trading card.
Oh.
Okay. I think I'll print it off as a print though as well, just because I'll have to crop it to make it a trading card, and I don't, I like when there's things that I really, 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 really like. I don't want to just make it one thing. I want to try to make it. So I think I'll send this as a print as well.
Nice.
That's what I think I'll do. And obviously that's going to be, you're inking it right now. It's going to be colored by Peter Gilmore, and Peter's got the Blue Roses Plasrad down to a T here. You can see in this was the hard part right here. He made me this cover, and then he was like, how do I color the Plasrad here? And it was like back and forth. We had to, I mean, you know how it is when you're communicating with people over, just like text messages, essentially.
Especially about subtle artistic stuff.
Very, very difficult. But we sent a million messages back and forth, and he got it perfectly. And so then you can see up here on this page, whoops. He just,
that's the page that really got me inspired, because, Patrick didn't ask me to draw this. Like, I just started drawing it because I thought she was really cool.
Mm-hmm. Well, she is really cool. Thank you for drawing it. And you've also unlocked a weakness of Patrick, that if you draw something of one of his characters that he really likes, he's just kind of forced. He's like, okay, I got it.
Oh yeah, but don't worry. I'll exploit it to the max. Don't worry.
Yes. Don't stop. I mean, no. I mean, if it's good, it's good. And I have to have these things that are really great. So, you've done such a great job with her Plasrad too. Let me make this big again here.
Yeah, I did a little Google image research on what kind of effects plasma would have visually, and there's all sorts of effects you can get with plasma. It's kind of got different states and stuff. So I wanted to give this kind of shield effect with it's almost organic, what do you call it? Tubular effects. And then a blasting arrow Kirby crackle effect out of the left hand as well. So showing that she has versatility in the Plasrad effect.
Yeah, that looks really good, Frederick. I like that a lot, by the way.
Thank you.
This is a good image. Not just because of her, beauty.
her personality. You were gonna say,
right.
I can feel her spark coming through.
There's a lot of things coming through after this issue's all over.
Something very compelling about this image.
Yes, right.
Very much so.
Frederick, I would say I love how you did, first of all, her face. I would say while we're here, don't draw her, like, leave those eyes blank like that.
Of course, she's activated the Plasrad, right?
Exactly. And when these characters activate their superpowers, generally speaking, their eyes become blank like that.
No, Patrick, I've been drawing comics a long time.
Okay, I'm just saying. I got, you know how it is, the hard magic, the soft magic of this universe.
No, I understand.
That's the way it works.
Yeah.
So yeah, you really have done a fantastic job.
Thank you.
Also, people who've done a fantastic job. We have the cover A by Paul Revauche, ladies and gentlemen, the legend.
That one's so good, man. That's the one I ordered.
Yes. I would like to say that I've been snubbed, I would say, by Warlock magazine. They didn't mention this cover once, ever. I wasn't even included as like a new upcoming artist or anything. You know, there's people on there, like, why are they on there? But they're there. But I'm not. So Warlock, thank you. I appreciate that. You've increased my punk rock level by at least 2 levels. So
I mean, you should see that like as a motivating factor to keep you like shooting higher and higher in quality and stuff, you know.
Yeah, you're very correct. I mean, just look at this cover. He's got a very obviously a scientifically advanced VSS here, but look at these. Like, do you guys see the shell casings coming out here?
Oh yeah,
it's one of those things you don't notice until you really look at it. It's like, oh man, Paul put so much detail into this cover. It's absolutely spectacular.
There's a lot of depth as well. Like it's easy to miss because it's just a guy shooting on the cover. But if you look the buildings in perspective, you see the sky behind him. You got the blowing kind of lava effect in front of him. The colors are contrasting at the same time as you got dimension. I'm not kidding. I really love this cover.
No, it is very, very good. Like, the composition is excellent. And, you know, he has the title not really blocking anything, but you can still see the background with the architecture.
Is this the first time you're adding the Logos logo?
Yes. Yes, that's correct.
Nice.
Well, and it's what I was saying earlier with the AI art. I mean, this is kinetic. You can feel this image moving as you're looking at it.
100%.
Yes.
Yeah.
And there's actually some more details in the background here that most people haven't noticed that I'm not going to say because it hints at story elements.
Did Paul do his own colors on this one?
Yes, he did. Actually, because he gave me the black and whites and I said, all right, cool. I'm going to have Peter Gilmore do the colors. And he's like, why didn't you ask me to do the colors? And I was like, wait a minute. What? And he was just like, I'll do it. And I was like, okay, well then cool. I'm just going to let you do it. And it's one of those things where I have a very specific aesthetic for my colors that I need. And both Peter and Paul just like nail it every time. Because Paul also did the colors on the diamond pinup on the back of Phenomenal Tales #1. If you guys saw that one.
Yes.
And he nailed it, dude. He just fucking. So, I mean, I've got these two wondrously talented people, and
he drew it as well. Like, he didn't just do the colors. It's his own piece as well, right?
Paul?
The print that you.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Paul did everything for both of those. So on the back of the comic, you'll see, it'll be like a bio for Diamond. Can I show that? Let's see here. Let me bring that up real quick so people can see that. But yeah, Paul does everything that I ask him to do. He just does it, which is amazing.
That's great.
And the best part is, like, sometimes you get an artist who's like, I want to color my own piece, and you let him do it, and you're like, okay. And then you see it, and you're like, okay. But Paul is just absolutely spectacular.
You must have a lot of blackmail on a lot of artists there. Sounds like, Patrick.
Oh no, nothing like that. It's just a matter of being nice to people and being honest with people.
Called Green.
I have to agree with that. Because obviously I was drawing for the first time from, you know, the Comicsgate well of talent. And what I found is if you just ask people up front, long before you need them, so that they have the flexibility to fit your stuff into their schedule, and you know, just as you say, just be up front. They're up front with you, and everyone has been just terrific to work with.
Mm-hmm. That's right. So this is the back cover for Phenomenal Tales #1. Paul did everything here. Everything is Paul's. I mean, I wrote what he, you know, put down there, but other than that, this is everything that Paul did. It's all him. So, and it's absolutely spectacular, and it just fits perfectly in with everything else that is going on in my universe here. I'm just trying to keep it all very. It's all got to be, you know, very similar to one another, so that it doesn't look like when you see a different, you know, when you see a character, it's like, oh my gosh, that character's so different from the other ones. So like Diamond could feasibly exist in the exact same universe as the boss here, and it just looks right. So yeah, that's what essentially, ladies and gentlemen, if you haven't backed this, you've got a bunch of different options. The basic option here is the $15, $8 shipping in the United States for Phenomenon #2 with the Paul Revauche cover, or you could get the official cover by Peter Gilmore, the black and white, which I'm just a big fan of. I love the black and whites. I love the black and whites with the color on the front. It reminds me of the old Sub Pop 90s records, and that's kind of why I did that, because that's a big inspiration for me. And then you've got the chromatically enhanced, because I couldn't not have him do that. I mean, he's just so good already. Yes, ma'am.
I'm going to have to hop off here. I got one more stream to go by, and I have to get ready for it. So,
what do you mean? Like you're gonna cheat on us with a different stream? Is that? Wait, what? What did you say?
How am I cheating if I'm here?
Well, I mean, like you're literally telling, hey, I gotta go. You know.
Well, I got a limited time of the night before I gotta go to bed. I'm like, I don't know.
Full roster for the evening.
Wow, yeah.
But it's nice of you to stop by, Katie.
Yeah, it was cool for you to.
I know. I wanted to. I haven't come by CG Commandos in a while, and I wanted to stop by and hang out with you guys and show Tom some support. Because I appreciate Tom. So, sorry. But I'm gonna head up here. But Tom, good luck. I'm really glad that you hit over 6K. Very happy about that, and I'll keep my eye on it. We'll keep promoting it and everything, okay?
And I will remember next Wednesday.
Next Wednesday, I will send you the link. I'll because I've been keeping an eye on his channel anyway. So as soon as I see it, I'm like, all right, I'm gonna tell Tom about it. So
awesome! Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
What's
Bye,
going on
guys.
Next Wednesday? Tell the chat.
Oh, well, next Wednesday, Pete Cimetti, every Wednesday, Pete Cimetti does open mic night where he allows people, anybody to come on and promote their campaign for 5 minutes. Wow. So I thought that would be good to show Tom's campaign, get some eyes, you know,
absolutely
on it, and you know, so yeah. So I'll let you know, Tom. I'll remind you.
Okay.
And all, but I appreciate everybody. Oh, no problem. Yeah, man. I'm look out for everybody. I'm like, open line. I need to start letting people know that he does this. Be good to get some CG folks in there and start showing their stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But anyway, I appreciate y'all, and thank you, Commandos. And Tom, it's good to see you. Good luck. Continue working hard on that campaign, and I'll talk to y'all soon. Okay.
Goodbye, Katie. Thank you for being here.
Have a good one.
All right. Bye.
Oh, thank God. Good riddance. Kidding.
But hey, speaking of Gilmore, I should not forget to mention that Peter is now hosting Friday Night Frights every Friday at 7 p.m. Eastern. It's him, Pete Callan, Harry Talbot, 6x6, and your own Tom Tuttle. We talk about horror movie genres. This week is Zombie Week on Peter's channel.
Nice.
Yes, let me get that real quick. I want to put that in the chat. Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, if you can go subscribe to Peter Gilmore's account here. Where is it? I love how I type in Peter Gilmore Comics and nothing shows up about like his own channel. That's fantastic. Let me type in Friday.
I think it comes up. I think it's under Peter Gilmore Art. I think is the what do you call it? The YouTube handle.
Yeah, it's a great show. I wish I could watch it every night while you guys are doing it. Okay, here we go. Wait a minute. Here it is, right? Yeah. Okay. Peter Gilmore. Old Man Gilmore, as we call him. Everybody calls him Old Man Gilmore. It's a thing. Ladies and gentlemen, I've just posted in the chat there.
Age. It's not a thing for me.
I've just posted in the chat there, ladies and gentlemen, Peter's YouTube channel. Please go subscribe if you can right now. Also, while you're doing things on YouTube and you're subscribing, please like and subscribe to this video. I need 250 or so more subscribers to maintain YouTube's standards, I suppose. Although, anyway, the point is you got to go to Peter Gilmore's channel and subscribe to that. I posted it right here. Go right now.
I guarantee you guys will have fun on Fridays. We bring the fun.
Yeah, it's a great time.
Tom Tuttle, any relation to Harry Tuttle?
Not that I'm aware of.
No.
I had John Cleese ask me once if I was related to player for the Giants. No, that's not me either.
Oh, so you got the reference.
Yeah.
Well done, sir.
Tom, can you explain? Because it seems that you're capable of interacting with individuals who are not accessible by the vast populace. How do you get that access?
It's just being a longtime fan. I mean, with the autograph pictures, I've got a pretty good autograph collection. And that's just, by virtue of going to, I've been going to autograph shows since the towers fell. So, sooner or later, you make your way up and down the East Coast, you hit everybody. And then I kind of during COVID, autograph shows kind of fell by the wayside. And so I kind of turned my energy towards Cameo, because Cameo, it's better than an autograph, because, what is an autograph? It's a symbol of the 5 seconds you spent meeting this guy, this celebrity. Mm-hmm. And basically, if you manage to stammer out, "Hey, I really like your movie," you've pretty much done your interaction. But with a Cameo, what I do when I'm buying a Cameo for myself, I've gotten cameos for a lot of Comicsgaters. I've gotten a couple for John Malin. I've got a couple for Cecil, for Mandy. But when I do them for myself, I'll pick someone that I really like, and I always ask them the same question. I say, "What is the secret to a life well lived?" And I do it for a number of reasons. One, because it's a very personal question, so you're going to get the real person. It's usually a question they like to answer because it makes them think, and you usually get a pretty lengthy answer. John Cleese gave me 7 minutes on his theories of the afterlife. It's just astonishing what I got out of him.
Is that posted somewhere?
I can post it when I got the
stream.
I'll post
please
it. It's too big to post the actual video itself, but I can post a link to it.
Amazing. Please do so.
It's really astonishing stuff, and I've got a lot of great celebrities giving me their meaning. Like Richard Dreyfuss gave me a very good and everyone's secret to a life well lived is different. So, I got an answer from Richard Dreyfuss that was vastly different than the one I got from John Cleese, but they're both fascinating. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
do you remember John Cleese's answer?
John Cleese is very, very, and it's not necessarily a surprise because he's pretty up there in age, so he's given a lot of thought as to what comes next, and he has a lot of really profound thoughts about what happens in that moment of extinguishment.
Huh. But what did he say though?
I can't remember exactly what he said. He has he was citing a lot of authors. I think he cited the Bhagavad Gita at one point. Okay. Or I'm pronouncing that wrong. Whatever, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I know what you mean.
I remember Dreyfuss more or less said the secret to a life well lived is there is no secret. It's all luck. But he expanded on that. He said, "Look, I've been very blessed in my life. With my career, with my wife, with my family. I couldn't begin to tell you how I did it. It was just luck, Huh. And Dreyfuss was funny because I thought his answer was perfect, but he must have thought his answer was flippant because he messaged me on the Cameo app saying, "Hey, I hope you don't think I was dismissive or whatever." And from the tone of what he was saying, I'm like, he thinks I'm suicidal. He thinks I was asking what's the secret to a life well lived because I'm like at the end of my rope. He was like really like being comforting, and I was like, no, I'm not suicidal. I'm just contemplative. You know,
Contemplative.
Oh, that should be a T-shirt. I'm not suicidal. I'm just contemplative.
Well, it's a good question to ask people who have a pretty thorough life experience and who are older, of course. But
that is
it's kind of a bullshit answer. It's all luck. I mean, it's true to an extent.
Again, I'm simplifying it. He said more than that. He was not being flippant. Richard Dreyfuss, you are not being flippant.
I don't think Richard Dreyfuss is watching this show.
Probably not.
No.
Oh, but the best thing is,
I love how Carbon instantly called bullshit on it.
The best thing is that I wanted him to do one thing for me. Besides that, I asked him for one thing at the end because I lost a lot of weight last year. I was really heavy at the beginning of 2024. I lost a shit ton of weight. And my deal that I made with myself to get me up off the couch was put on a Texas Mofo video, put on the Jaws one, where it's Brody and Quint, and Brody says, let Hooper take a turn. And Quint says, Hooper drives the boat, Chief. Right? And so the deal that I made was I'd fire up that video, and by the time he says Hooper drives the boat, Chief, you got to be off the couch. Right? And so when I did Dreyfuss, I asked him to say that, to sort of a shout out to Texas Mofo, and he forgets. And his Latino cleaning lady, who is recording the thing for him, says, he like leans forward and goes, "What?" And she goes, "Hooper drives the boat, Chief." Oh, yeah. Hooper drives the boat, Chief. So shout out to the cleaning lady because, she was my number one ally in the making of that cameo.
That's awesome. I love your the cameos that you have people do are so fantastic. Like you're using Cameo in as an app sense.
Correct.
The people you have who come on and say, what they say about Comicsgate and stuff like that. It's like I thought you just had some kind of in with them as a lawyer.
Oh no. I'm just a poor country lawyer.
That's awesome. That's so sick.
My number one get, I would have to say, was getting Dylan Mulvaney to give a shout out to Shane.
Yes, that was amazing.
That was my favorite.
So great.
I was gonna say that's one of the funniest. And say hi to your friend CG.
Fantastic stuff.
Yeah, that was a good idea.
And it's always the kind of thing where you're like, when you get that notification on your phone, I'm like, they went for it. I can't believe they went for it.
Now, you see, your biggest, the most important challenge you have before you is to get Rachel Zegler to say, "I am the leader of Comicsgate. I love you, Comicsgate."
That would be me. What I really want to get, my white whale, who I've been hunting for years, is I want to get Chase Masterson to give a shout out to John Malin.
Yes.
If I can get that's my nothing but net moment.
It'll be amazing. Amazing. Yeah. Well, this all brings us to an important question. Tom, how did you find / get involved in Comicsgate?
It was way back in...
I know I stole your question, Carbon. I'm sorry, but
it was way back in 2017, 2018. I was Facebook friends with both Ethan and Richard Meyer from the Facebook days. And I remember I had started to listen. What was this show called for Diversity in Comics before it was Comics Matter? I was listening to him at night because this was right around the time that me and my second ex split up, and my second ex had a strict no sensory input during sleep time. So the lights had to be pitch black. There couldn't be any sound. I like to have white noise. So when we split up, I started putting on Richard's videos right before bed, and I would just kind of zone out and drift off listening to Richard.
Get it,
And this
folks?
was
White
right around-
noise. That's what it's a good white
Huh?
noise joke. Anyway.
Oh, there you go. There you go. But I was listening to Richard, and this was at the same time that that I was noticing in the comics I was getting every Wednesday, like something doesn't feel right. I can't put my finger on it. It's like Uncanny Valley. Everything just kind of feels off, and everything's too cute. And there's a lot of fucking comics about women going to Applebee's, you know. And I didn't know that diversity in comics was Richard. He was your boy Zach, and I remember when I found out, I was like, oh, I remember him from Facebook. And this is right around the time that Ethan left DC. So I just followed both guys to Twitter, and Richard's videos, were making a lot of sense to me. And so this is like way back in the old days. This is back when, Ethan was doing how to draw videos and what is a horizon line. And this was back when all the, what do they call them? The OG CG guys like Captain Cummings and all those, and Turkish and all those guys were there. And I was more or less kind of a real backseater in the beginning. I didn't really like pull the plug and take the plunge till about 2020. Right around the time pandemic started was when I started becoming the Uber backer and just backing everybody, because I wasn't buying comics anymore at the shop. So I had all this disposable income to spend on comics. So I directed it towards CG, and it's been a roller coaster ever since.
So before that, though, what kinds of books were you backing before you stopped? Like with Marvel and DC. Oh,
okay. What was I getting on Wednesday? I was growing up. I was a DC guy who also did Marvel. So I had a certain familiarity.
It's like a gay guy who also sometimes has sex with women.
He's based.
Occasionally, I would have sex with women. Like every once in a blue moon, I'd find some woman and I'd have sex with her. But for the most part, it was all gay. All gay.
Yeah.
So I liked, I was a big Legion fan. I liked Legion of Superheroes was the first book I read back in when I was like 10. I liked Justice League. I liked Mark Barron's Flash. These are all like the 80s stuff. And then like right before I kind of pulled the Band-Aid off with, stopping buying mainstream books. At that point, I was pretty well mixed, both Marvel and DC. I loved the Marvel Now era, where it had like the red banners on the bottom. I thought there was some great stuff in there. It was right before All New, All Different. All New, All Different was the end. All New, All Different was when it was, the
horribly.
And there's a good demarcation point there too, because right at the end of the Marvel Now era, before All New, All Different, was Jonathan Hickman's Secret Wars miniseries that came out of his multiverse saga, and it fed into Secret Wars. And then after that was the All New, All Different. And in Secret Wars, they blow up Universe 616. Universe 616, the mainstream Marvel universe, and 1610, the Ultimate Universe, collide. Both are destroyed. So I think it's very easy and in canon to view that everything that happened after that is, some stupid planet that Franklin Richards built out of his brain or whatever the hell. And it's all been an alternate Marvel universe ever since. The Marvel universe died in 2016.
Yes. Have you ever read Earth X?
Oh, I loved Earth X.
Earth X has, to me, always been the canon ending for the 616 universe.
Makes perfect sense.
Doesn't it? It just feels so good. Like, even though there's things that happens that you're like, I love that character. He dies that way. Oh, that sucks. But overall, Earth X is like, okay, all right.
Well, and every character was like the natural evolution of that character.
Precisely.
You say, I can see how Captain America.
Alex Ross, who wrote it, understood the characters and he loved the characters.
Was it Ross who wrote it, or was it Kruger who wrote it?
Was it?
I think it was Jim Kruger wrote it and Alex Ross.
Right.
Alex Ross had some kind of like really distinct impact on it, other than just the art. But
he might have been like a co-plotter.
Actually, wait a minute. I think
he was a co-plotter for sure. Wait a minute. I've got it right here. So let me look.
The original
you guys
concept.
continue talking. I'll look. Hold on.
I'm looking at it too, actually, because this is one of my favorite books. To me, it kind of is the beginning of the end of like the goodness in comics, right? Because it came out like around 2000.
Right.
And the same thing with Kingdom Come, which is like the DC analog to this concept.
Kingdom Come very much is a companion book to Earth X.
Yeah. And then they kind
and
of
the same thing I was
represent
saying about Earth X is every character in Kingdom Come, you can see how the character we know would become this character.
Yeah. No, it is quintessential. I mean, that's obviously why it was so successful.
But
something happened at the turn of the century. I'm telling you, like we might actually be in a different universe. Something happened. Yeah.
Dude, we 100% are, because I thought that what's his name? Val Kilmer was dead 5 years ago. And then people are like, Val Kilmer just died. And I'm like, that happened 5 years ago. What do you guys
I remember the earlier spelling and earlier pronunciation of the Berenstain Bears.
See? Okay. Exactly.
I grew up, all of us used to argue about whether it was Berenstein or Berenstein, which we would never have done if it had always been an A in the end.
Right.
I never remembered an A being in there too.
It's the Berenstein Bears.
Correct. Yeah, it was never Stain. It was weird to see that.
So you're right and you're wrong, but which also makes me right and wrong. Alex Ross, story, character designs, epilogue, and covers. Jim Kruger, story and script. John Paul Leone, pencils. Bill Reinold, inks. So...
But it turns out that the original story concept was actually done by Ross alone. Because the history of the book is that Ross wrote like a short story for Wizard Magazine, which was the entire concept of the book. So he kind of created the idea. Kruger wrote the script, so he's technically the writer, but Ross actually created the story.
Which makes sense, because Ross has been... I mean, he's a fan of, I would say, both Marvel and DC. I don't think he really has a preference. By the way, the Machine Man was so lame until this. And now
I'm glad you said that, because I wanted to say I hate the framing sequence with the Machine Man and the Watcher, and I was like, I don't want to say anything in case he loves that part.
I would just say, like, I would say his design is super cool.
Yeah, agreed.
Like Machine Man. I mean, but this is all. That's all Alex Ross.
So the whole "give me back my face" thing.
Yes, fantastic stuff. Honestly, that and I didn't read. What's the one that comes after that? It's called.
It's like Earth X, Universe X.
Universe X, I think is what it is.
Something about the afterlife, but I don't remember what that one was called.
Yeah, it starts off where everybody who died in Earth X, like you see where they are in the afterlife.
Paradise X.
Paradise X. Thank you. I don't like the afterlife stories. Like, they're either alive or they're not. And when I first read Earth X and you realized, who was it that died? Was it Johnny? Johnny that died because it was Doom and Submariner teaming up again. And they killed one of them. I think it was Johnny.
Johnny Storm?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was just like, oh, we're serious now. And then, you get Thing having kids with Petunia or with Alicia. It was like, okay, this is great.
I hope he wasn't having kids with Petunia.
Right.
Right. Whole different story, man.
That'd be crazy.
Wow. My old Aunt Petunia.
You know what's funny? I was reading a comic called Clobberin' Time. Have you seen that? Stephen Scroce, I think is his name, the way you pronounce it. Skroce. It's a newer series. It started coming out in, I want to say, 23 and finished in 24. It's like 5 issues. Actually, great comic book. And the art is fantastic. Scroce does both the art and the script. And he actually has an understanding of the characters that most modern Marvel writers do not have, which is amazing, because Scroce, as far as I can tell, doesn't come from comic books. Like, he's not a comic book guy. He does other kind of stuff. But Clobberin' Time is what it's called. It's about the Thing, and he meets up with a bunch of different people. Like, there's Wolverine, Doctor Strange, all kinds of people who are like, guest stars. It's almost like 2-in-1 to a degree. but it's such a great job. And what was I going to say about that? I forgot what I was going to say, which brings me to my main point for this evening, ladies and gentlemen. Memory. It's a horrible thing. Everybody thinks, right? Tom knows. I don't want to call you old, Tom, but you're getting older than.
I'll take that.
Yeah. I mean, than Carbon, myself, and Frederick.
I'm almost older than the actual element carbon.
See, there you go. And so then you understand how like your memory starts to go. You've drunk so much alcohol, you've smoked so much weed, you've dropped so much acid that at a certain point you're just like, I don't fucking remember any of this shit. And people are like, they expect you to remember all the fine details. Well, that's not the way it works in real life. In real life, you have to remember every specific detail. And if you don't remember every specific detail, people say to you, they look you straight in the eyes and they say, hey man, you didn't remember this detail. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to